live. We are live. There's got one like, one person out there. That looks like Dirty Faces. Hi, Dirty Faces. Hope you're good, mate. Merry Christmas to you. Although it's a little bit early, but hey, get it in when you can get it in. Would you like me to open you?
No, I can do it. It's all right.
Okie dokie. Oh, up to 3. My notes there. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's feeling fit, fine, and funky. Yeah, shall I leave me out on? Should take me out off. Take me out off. Why not? Yeah. Too much.
Good evening, Martin.
Not much glare on that. All right, Martin. How you doing, mate?
Oh, you're not feeling great?
Not feeling good? Oh, mate, no.
Oh, not COVID again. Oh, no.
Going round and round and round in your spot, mate. I'll tell you what, well,
Katrina.
You're more than welcome to join us. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Stealth Car. Martin, I understand fully, mate. If you decide you've had enough, you're going to pull the cord, jump ship, hit the sack, curl up, take the old painkillers, crawl into the pit and disappear down to the foot end. I get that completely, mate. So, yeah. And if not, if you just want to join this lunatics and realise how lucky you really are, then do so. Do so. Right, what can I say about this week?
Well, we've had Storm Ellen, and now we've got Storm. There's another one. We're going to F this time.
Fuckwit. Oh, excuse my language. Storm, whatever. So, storms. So, excuse me, I'm covered in. Been playing with the dog, so I ended up covered in bits and pieces.
Yesterday there was an earthquake in the Highlands of Scotland.
Well, this is the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nature's kicking back a little
bit.
Sure
is.
And excuse my glasses. I don't know if anybody else ever has this. I get them.
Yeah, I get one. Right.
It's nothing more annoying when you suddenly realise your glasses are out of skew. It throws it off. Yeah, weather. Yeah, so the weather here, we have one cold but dry day this week for us. The rest of it's been a bit pants. But it's what you got to really expect for the time of year, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, and I've been doing a bit of research because they're all talking about this polar vortex, which of course the media's jumping on and the polar vortex, it's another ice age. And I sat there and I've heard about these obviously before, and I thought, right, actually go and look at your scientific facts. Yeah, it's a cycle. It comes round. Anywhere between every 7 and 11 years. El Nino effect in the Pacific warms the Pacific. Warm air rises. It travels towards the North Pole. It interferes with the jet stream and it affects the polar vortices, which is a circle of wind, which basically keeps the cold where it needs to be. That breaks down, and when the polar vortices breaks down, then you end up with areas of extreme cold swinging further south than normal. And it's a natural cycle. It occurs on a regular basis. It's not created by by man so much as something that's gone on for tens of thousands and millions of years. And when people keep on about the CO2 level in the atmosphere, just point out to them how high the CO2 level was, 10,000 years ago. Because it's a lot higher than it is now.
Good evening,
Paul. So, of course, the media's jumped on this and they're all, there's polar vortices, it's coming, the polar vortex, because that sounds good. Well, it's not actually a polar vortex that's coming, it is the polar vortex breaking down a little bit and allowing some extremely cold air to drop south. And it could hit anywhere in the northern hemisphere. It could affect North America, it could affect Britain, it might just drift into the Atlantic and clear off and mind its own business. There's not a lot you can do about it. That's nature. What will happen will happen. As good survivalists and preppers, we all plan for these sort of things. And we make sure we got stores, kit, extra heating, clothing, blankets, and all the rest of it there. You do your research. You know if it comes, it comes. It could be a pain in the arse. The longest lasting one was caused by an area of low pressure in the North Sea for us. That was in 1960. but that caused a storm or an area of cold pressure to sit over the UK, and it pretty much started Christmas Day and lasted right through to the end of March. Even in the south here, we had snow drifts of 6 to 8 feet. So it happens. It happens. It's nature does this stuff every now and again. She goes a bit potty, and basically gives us a boot in the arse and says, "Oh, you're not in charge. I am." So, yeah, so don't panic about the media.
Okay.
Excellent. That'd be nice to see you. Be nice to see you nice. Right, yeah, and it's that time of year, the old time of the week. I'm going to light a cigar.
You never did find the missing two.
No.
There's some gremlin or little house,
I'll probably find a
house elf somewhere with cigars.
Yeah, find a crusade. I'm off to Guinness tonight.
Well, I'm on Cosmos, which is like a mocktail. I can't even read what is in it. So
can we have a look for you? Make sure there's nothing nasty.
Yeah, I can't. It's really
a bit dark.
Dark.
Let me have a look. Let me stand.
You can't see it on the front. It'll say.
It says this is non-alcoholic cosmopolitan sparkling drink.
Oh, cosmopolitan. Hey, aren't we posh today?
You've got a cosmopolitan there, my
Evening, John.
Alcohol free. Hi, John. And in the bar tonight, I'm serving the Merry Down Original Cider.
Evening, Mac. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's really.
It's nice, is it?
Yeah, I like that.
So I shall get into this cider, spark a cigar, sit back, relax, tell a tale.
Oh, that's I really like them.
Have a natter about bits and pieces. Going through some paperwork today, found some interesting bits and pieces. Might be of interest to you guys. Might be a tale for one evening. I'm going through some of my grandfather's old bits and pieces. I've got some files on that from him for his served in the Navy.
Thank you. Yeah, we're a bit better this week.
And
I found eating.
I found an after action report. Okay, and this is titled HMS Rupert and the Rescue of HMS Redmill, 27th of the 4th, 1945, log of events. Okay, and yeah, I won't say who signed that off, but yeah, it's there's some poetry there. Yeah, so yeah, and it's just a single A4 sheet. I might have a whiz through that tonight, read it all out to you, just a bit of history, something a bit interesting, something the old granddad was involved in. In actual fact, no, I'm going to do it.
Go for it.
It's part of his story, so you have to bear with me. Evening, Gary.
Evening, Gary.
So, like
Has Carter arrived yet?
So, for you ex-servicemen, it's an after-action log of events from HMS Rupert about the rescue of HMS Redmill, 27th of the 4th, 1945. And this is my grandfather's report, I take it. At 0600 hours on Friday the 27th of April, 1945, the 21st Escort Group under Lieutenant Commander Raymond Hart, DSC RNSO, aboard HMS Con, along with HMS Rupert and HMS Redmill, were in the vicinity 54.23 north by 10:36 west on a U-boat patrol. HMS Redmill was on station watch just outside the 3-mile limit of Donegal Bay area of the Donegal Bay area. Redmill was keeping a lookout watch on a U-boat that had been contacted on the evening of the 26th of April. Whilst Redmill kept an all-night vigil with ASDIC and radar, Con and Rupert maintained a close patrol. Things seemed to be looking good. The forenoon watches took their watches at 0800 and action stations were maintained. HMS Fitzroy, HMS Dean and HMS Byron were further to north in their area of patrol. At 0924 hours, a large explosion was heard, and it was seen from Rupert, the nearest ship, that Red Mill had received a hit. It was observed that her stern, just forward of number 3 gun, was ripped clean off. It was feared that casualties would be heavy, as the whole of the aft deck, upper and lower, had gone. Rupert was first on the scene, followed by Con, who had called up the others of the group. At 0949 hours, Rupert started a search and a single depth charge was dropped because of men in the water. This produced a high column of water astern, and it was believed that this activated a missed GNAT, G-N-A-T, torpedo. Rescue work was being carried out by Byron and Fitzroy, and it was estimated 28 lives had been lost, 4 seriously injured, and many with minor injuries. The seriously injured were transferred to Byron, but unfortunately all later died from their injuries. Total dead and missing are 32. Rupert and Con continued the AS search, and at 1600 hours, Rupert was ordered to close and take Red Mill in tow. The towing gear took about an hour and a half to connect, and at 1725, towing started. I'm not sure what it means by that. CO.005 at 5 knots. Continued underway, possibly. At 1750 hours, Red Mill veered. 2 more shackles were attached to deepen the tow at the bow, and at 1830 the tow parted. 1948 hours, the tow was reconnected and continued again, still at 5 knots. At 2307, Eagle Isle Light was on the port beams, logging 4 knots over ground. The tow was taken through the night with Con and the rest of the group supplying cover screens, and on Saturday, 28th of April, a rescue tug, HMS Jaunty, had arrived from Londonderry. Wind was northwest, force 6, sea swell of 55.0. By 0825, tow was taken by Jaunty and was underway. Rupert as escort, Con, Dean, Byron and Fitzroy resumed their patrols. Tow was maintained by Jaunty throughout the day. During the middle watch on Sunday, 29th of April, the tow parted. Time 0250 hours. Rupert did a circle patrol whilst Jaunty reconnected. Task completed at 0540 hours. No incidents occurred. Jaunty continued with her tow until 11:15. Both ships and Red Mill arrived off the Innistrol Light at 15:20. Saw them safely at the entrance of Loch Foyle. Rupert, low on fuel, left Jaunty and Red Mill and proceeded to the Oiler at 1700 hours. At 1845, slipped from the Oiler, and at 23:25 hours proceeded west at 23 knots. Rupert rejoined the group at position 56.04 north and 11:06 west at 0130 hours on the Monday, 30th of April. No further contact with the U-boat was made. Looks like he had made good his escape. On the 10th of May, 1945, U-1105 surrendered to the 21st BG in Loch Erebol. I can't read it properly.
Yeah.
This was the U-boat that had torpedoed HMS Red Mill. And we must agree there is a faint air of justice about this. So that was written afterwards. That's an after-action report from my grandfather. It's funny what you find in people's old paperwork and notes, isn't it? So yeah, that just gives me a little flicker of some of his.
It's not so easy to keep.
Evening,
Benny.
Some of his life, I suppose. Bless him, gone now. Been gone a long time, but yeah, always interesting to find. So again, don't ever lose things like that. Keep them. It means little to some, but that's part of his story, isn't it?
Go on, Benny. Tell us you got snow still.
Yeah, go on, Benny. Tell us you're snowed under. Burrowing. It's having to burrow out. So, anyhow, so guys, Happy Sunday to you all. Hope you're all good.
Cheers.
Back on the cider.
Mine's alcohol free.
Got one can of Guinness that I'm saving for Christmas. And just to be careful, I've got my breathalyzer with me. Okay. It complies with French law. So Kaz can breathalyse me before I make tea after this and make sure that I am safe.
Evening, Lee.
Evening, Lee. How you doing, mate?
So it's all gone. So we ain't got any either.
We didn't get any at all anyhow, did we?
But there's another storm coming, Benny, so prepared for high winds again.
Yeah, we didn't even get a sniff, did we? Not down here?
No, not even a sprinkle.
And for those of you ex-British servicemen that are out there, any of you remember that magazine? And that one's dated 2014. So, yeah, I dug that out.
That's all right. It's nice you pop in, Benny.
Benny, you know you're welcome.
Oh dear, sorry to hear that. Hi, Sticks.
Not a problem, Benny. Love the videos. Keep them coming, mate. Lee, back still buggered.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Virginia's
Sticks, evening, mate. Hope you're good. Hope you're good, Virginia Bushcrafter. Cheers, my brother. Any of you out there, you want to see a very interesting channel, another one of our friends from across the pond, Virginia Bushcrafter. Well worth a visit. Lots of interesting information. And he's got a stunning woods. Mind spending a weekend there.
Gary said, blast from the past. Right, Gary, I said to Mitch about your 258 pattern LBC suits used for basher poles and that. And
brilliant idea, mate. Brilliant idea. Go with it. Go with it. It's adapt anything that works for you. It's like me. I cut pockets off stuff. I find pouches that were designated or issued for one job are now in what I'm doing now. Find uses in other worlds. A regular one for me is every time I knacker a pair of trousers, I cut the leg off.
Or the pockets.
Or the pockets.
Yeah,
I use what's available. It's a simple thing. You can see them up there on the wall. I showed it on a video, I think, the other day. And all I do, where like with the military combats, you've normally got the tie-in on the ankle. What I tend to do is leave the tie, cut it off, and just stitch a base on where the leg is, turn it upside down. Makes a handy little bag for your brew kit, makes somewhere to keep your tarp or whatever you want. And being canvas, it's a little bit more sturdy. And as one of the lads, I think it might have been Lee Michael, one of the others was saying, if I wax that canvas, it's going to waterproof it as well, which is, I've never even thought that, bloody genius. So again, it's all about adaptation, finding things that work for you.
Well, you worry me, Benny. When you wait till you see what I've done to my new axe with a laughing face. I think back to your video when you had the bright pink hair and the blue flashing glasses. That
gave me that video gave me a few nightmares. I woke up a couple of times at 3 o'clock in the morning. No! See Benny running through the woods dressed like that.
So what have you done to your axe? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Not tinsel and turkey time, is it?
Yeah. Excellent. And again, we're building a community here. I had a question last week about kit I use, filming and what I use. So I'm a technophobe. So basically, I've got a second-hand PC here, which is on Windows.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Windows something or other. It's not the latest edition. Definitely, it's a couple of years out of date.
My old. Yeah.
But what I'm running is I'm using my editing suite, or the editing suite I use is a free one from Microsoft, and that's Clipchamp, which looked a bit fiddly to start off with, but I got the hang of that, and I quite enjoy it. For streaming, I use the YouTube Studio. I use their setup for this. So basically, this is just running through a cheap webcam. Okay, so excuse me, that collar's bugging me. Just cheap webcam. Yeah, see, I'm learning to do buttons up. If anybody saw the video this week, figuring it out. That's why I have zips normally. That's cheap webcam. and it's running through their studio, and it's a nice, simple thing to use, especially for somebody like me. It's the Technophone. Camera-wise, okay, so I've done a bit with my phone. The phone I've got is a Uhl phone. That on there. And that's their indestructible phone, 5,000 amp hour battery, so it lasts forever.
Yeah, he has to charge his every about 5 days. Yeah. I have to do mine every day.
Yeah, and that's doing all my internet access and everything else as well. Basically, it was designed for the German military. It's an almost indestructible phone. I know nothing is completely indestructible. It's really sturdy. I haven't broken this one. Completely waterproof. Downside is they are heavy, but it's given me that power reserve if I need it. So it means if I'm clearing off, I've got to carry a power pack to keep the phone going. And if I put that on low usage mode, it will run for 38 days. So again, if I suddenly find myself stuck in the middle of nowhere with a disaster, set that to low power mode, and yeah, I'm king of the woods. On top of that, I use majority of the filming we do out in the woods and things like that. I've just got a GoPro. That's GoPro 9, isn't it? GoPro 9. Came with 3 batteries, and I bought came with 2 batteries, and I bought a further 3 for it. What I like it a lot. I've got to get basically the standard GoPro comes like that, and then what I did, my first thing I bought for it was a media mod, which basically goes on it, goes in it, or goes around it like that, and then gives it a little mic on the top. But the problem is, as you noticed in the videos, that mic's okay, but it's directional. So all the time, everything's coming from that side. It's brilliant. But with Max behind me, or I'm talking from behind it, it's a bit muffled.
Evening, Ray.
Next investment is going to be a mic system. So I'll set that up. And that's what I do the majority of the videos on. And because after a year and just 200 odd videos, it glitched on me the other day, and I sort of went, if it packs up, all electronics pack up, I'm stuffed and I don't want to be out filming. So I said to Kaz, what I want to do is get just a little cheap, simple camcorder that runs on an SD card as a backup. And she found me that for a tenner. It's
a little Alba.
Second hand, but it works. It's a little Alba. Takes an SD card, so all my stuff's done on SD cards. Basically, plug it into the computer, download that straight onto Clipchamp, and away it goes. Downloading onto Clipchamp from my GoPro takes forever. However, I have just found out that might be because my files on my GoPro, the settings, are really compressed. And apparently, if I reduce the compression rate, then it might upload a bit quicker. It means gobbledygook to me, but I will look into it and see about giving it a go. If I still, it's one of those things. If it keeps the same quality of imagery, then fine. Because everything I upload's in 1080, basically because my computer, I tried doing 4K and it was there for days.
If it doesn't work, how can you use it on my scooter?
Cheers, John. And yeah, so that gives me a little backup. The other thing is I can keep that in the car rather than carry all my other gear, because the amount of times I've been out somewhere, seen something and thought, I wish I had my camera with me. And that is small and light enough to just literally, slip into a pocket. The other thing is when we're filming up the woods and things like that, I can set one camera up for one angle and give that to, say, Mac, and say, have a wander around, mate. And then we got different angles, position. I'm getting very good now, isn't it? Very different angles and aspects and that.
It's gone from arc of fire to angled
arc of filming. I have my arc markers out, and makes me a bit nervous when Max shouts you're in the arc.
I'm glad you and him survived the moulds, though.
Exactly that, Lee. Lee, yeah, technology and me is no, can't do it. I can crack a couple of bits of flint. I can make a fire. I can build a shelter. Having to learn this sort of thing, and to be honest with you, I don't. Half of it I don't understand anyhow. I've just figured out which button to push at what time, and that's the way I tend to do it.
That's how I learn computers. Just playing, just trying things out and not getting panicky about it. Set the boundary fire stakes.
Yeah. Left of arc, right of arc.
Yeah.
And then we draw it, sit there and sketch our map out. So we've got our distances in there. Mac's working the windage out for me, measuring grass windage at 50 metres, 100 metres, 500 metres, whatever. Looking at crows flying backwards, working out the barometric pressure. And then for those long shots, even the Coriolis effect.
And the degrees on the bottom of your shirt.
Yes. Degrees, angles of loft. Yeah. Oh, you can waffle on. I can waffle on for hours about that stuff. It's luckily enough, Mac wasn't in the mortar platoon, so I'm okay there.
We are joined this evening by the Willow.
Yeah.
He's really knackered because he had a Zoomie before the channel started.
Yeah, exactly that, Virginia. It's GoPro 9. I like it. I'm getting on well with it. I've had it over a year now, and I'm 200 videos in with it. It's a good bit of kit. It's not let me down. I do, in cold weather, it will go through batteries though. Hence, I basically, all my filming now, I normally go out with 5 batteries fully charged when I go out. And what I found best thing to do is, if it's really, really cold, keep the spare batteries in my pocket. Just keep them a little bit warm. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's good gear. It's GoPro. It's
Good for you, Lee.
Yeah. Do it. We got. Hey, you've already got subscribers here. And that's it. And I'll come down and do a collaboration with you. How's that? Or come up and do a collaboration with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It gives me something to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got quite a positive feedback from everyone for the New Year's Eve evening.
Yeah.
So that's it now.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Party in the house. It's one of those things. Go for it, Lee. Definitely. You've got all the information. You've got the knowledge, mate. It's up there, and all you got to do is share it. I mean, when the first time I sat behind the camera, oh my God, just like it was like I've still got the very first pre-video I did that I never actually uploaded, and it was like, okay, you've all heard this before. Right, gentlemen, what we're going to cover today is bushcraft. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the basic principles of bushcraft, we're going to align them in our methods, come up with an action plan and move forward. And I come home and I watched it and I was like, oh my God. All I needed to do is bring out the projector and fire up the screen.
Perhaps you should keep in a hot pocket.
Yeah, just try and keep them warm. It's cold kills them.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, my scooter in the car, when it gets really, really cold, in the next day I try using it. It's like,
share it, Lee. You got knowledge, and again, you're leaving your mark, and do it your way. Do whatever you. I mean, it's like me and Mac. We did that little skit this week.
That's me.
I don't know. A couple of people have sort of weren't so impressed by it. Didn't think it was very appropriate.
Bloopers, they're big fun.
But again, it's have fun in it. So I try and inject a bit of humour in it because, again, if you want to talk about survival, prepping, and survival skills and prepared bushcraft, all that, part of it is humour. Okay.
And the bloopers.
Yeah,
you got some channels that everything's so bloody perfect, but you know damn well that at any time it will muck up.
How many times you
Yeah.
put a tent up and you struggle with it? How many
Yeah.
times have you lit a fire and it's gone out? How many times have you knocked your mug of water over just after it's boiled?
Yeah.
Then looked at your empty cup, looks at the water as it soaks into the ground and think to yourself, it happens. And the thing is,
Oh, that's nice. Isn't it?
one of the best survival traits you can have, and I'm sorry, Mac, I'm going to say it, came from the Royal Marines, was a sense of humour in the face of adversity. You know, if you're somebody that when it's getting tough goes into depressed mode, you're screwed. But if you're somebody that just just looks at it, shrugs his shoulders, and goes, "Why me?" You're probably going to come through it better.
Yeah, what's the point of editing it all out?
Leave it in.
Yeah,
leave it
it's
in.
funny.
I mean, if it's not
like, got the helicopter flying over, you get the important bit, and
planes and helicopters for me, I've got to apologise to you guys. Like, so I'm literally 95% deaf in my left ear. Okay, that's down to weapon usage over the years.
The flight path to the RAF station, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got an RAF base one side. We got military training areas all around us. I'm deaf in my left ear. Left ear. So I'm looking at the camera going, why are you pointing to your right ear? I'm not. I'm looking at myself. So I'm 95% deaf in this ear, and I'm high and mid-tone deaf in my right ear. So it's like now, if I put my hand over that ear, I won't hear Caroline talking. So it's
don't say does that often.
Yeah. It's like in the evening, isn't it? We go to bed, I put my head on the pillow, I said, no, love, she'll say something, and I'm like, sorry, sweetheart, and I have to lift my head up to hear what she's saying. So I don't hear the helicopters until touch pointers are right over the top. And then when I'm doing the editing, I'm sitting here screaming because I've got this bloody helicopter. And I'm saying, what?
Stealth, I bet that was really annoying.
Yeah.
You might have said you inspired him. So that's really nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Lee. That's made my week. Anybody, any of you guys out there.
But Stealth, did you manage to get your drink first before you spilt the kettle, or do you have to fill it up and start all over again?
The law of sod. Right? The law of sod would say no.
That's brotherhood for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, this week where we're filming in the woods, like I said in the past, it's only a little 10-acre wood, and the neighbour is lovely people, big house, very posh. But they're having some landscaping or something being done, and I think they had one of the big pile drivers up there putting a pile in, and me and Matt were there, and it was like gunshots going off, but it was only sort of 100 metres away, so we get dunk, 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 dunk. And they're like, all right, we'll wait a little bit, wait a little bit, and it'll go quiet, do a bit of filming, dunk, 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 dunk. It's just odds law, isn't it?
So you'd have to do a 2023 bloopers roll.
I tend to show the ones that I can show. The ones where I start effing and blinding and leaping up and down.
Perhaps that's for the that'll be for your members.
Yeah, I might do that for the members channel. Oh, bloody lighter.
There's nothing worse than if you've got a full kettle and you're really, really looking forward to that.
Oh, you gasping for your brew, and your kettle goes over. There is nothing more infuriating. And we've all had it. And again, so I try and leave. It's like firelighting. I had a couple of people saying, "Oh, your fire went out and you left it in." Yeah, because that's the reality of it. If I'm trying to encourage other people to take this up and to have a go themselves, if I show it perfect every time, then when it goes wrong for them, it's going to be a discouragement to them because they're going to be like, well,
it's like when you're doing
he does it perfect.
Hi,
Percy.
Evening, Percy. Hope you're still well.
And so
too rumbled over there.
Yeah, so
it's like you do silver birch. Yeah, you do the scrapings, and then that little gust of wind.
I've had that a few times. Hence a patch of leather trick, and that I got from Forest Fundamentals, watching their video. And they were saying, a simple piece of leather, do your scrapings onto that, because it's got two bonuses. One, it makes it easier to pile them up. Two, if you then want to move on somewhere or situations change, you can fold that piece of leather up and put your shavings in your pocket. You're not going to lose them. They're not going to get blown away. And you can light the, because it's leather, you can light the material on the leather and then transfer it to the fire pit, which is, to be honest with you, it's a lot easier. It's because the amount of times I've made my bed for my fire and I've gone to it with scrapings or something, put the scrapings on there, and then it's all fallen through the gaps or dropped down, or
it's knocked them.
Yeah, launched it all over the place. It happens, and that's the reality of it. So again, if you really,
Lee said a light not working may be a hint for you.
I think it is a hint.
We never did find those two cigars. They're somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, and I promise I have not touched them.
Yeah, it's no, I think I know who has though. I think I know who has.
Yeah.
I think somebody thought he was doing me a favour. Oh, I'll take them off his hands. They're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Percy's been having some quite rumbly earthquakes where he is. 7.7, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7.7 at Philippines, wasn't it? So Sticks, so you stutter as well. Okay, so I'm a stutterer. Oh, I'm actually a stammerer. Have been most of my life. I get mental blocks on things when it sort of it brings it on and makes it even worse. There we go. Because I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to go there.
Yeah.
So losing the word now. Lost the word. So basically, I struggle with myself. So quite often you'll find me using alternative words. I know, I can feel it coming on. I know I'm not going to get a word out.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson, that's the reason why he's F's all the time.
Yeah.
It's because he stutters as well, and that's what
coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's his way of coping with it.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. I've done it on camera. There's a couple of videos where I've had a bit of a stammer, but I think just be own. I just own it. It's me. I don't care what people think about it. And of course, I go back to an age where at school, because I stammered, right, you will get up and you will read the recital assembly. We'll knock your stammer out of you, because it was considered the fact that they could, get him to do some public speaking. It'll get him out, which terrified me for years.
With me, if I read anything, I'm terrible because my eyes look forward. So my mouth's saying one thing, but I'm about 3 lines ahead of myself, and I just get
Hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Yeah, as Derek's with us. We're up to 20. Excellent. Yeah,
we're 23 just now.
Yeah, that's it, Gary. It's finding a coat. Now talking about it, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Breathe
and slow down. Take a step back, Mikey. Slow it down, and that's my problem. My brain starts operating too quickly, and so
it gets fixated, and it's you're on one single track, and then
it's what can you do? It's you deal with it, isn't it? Life's like if that's all that I've got to worry about in life, I'm not too worried about it.
No.
Yeah. Hola.
I enjoyed your knots.
Yeah, that knots video was brilliant. In fact, actually, Derek, that was one of the best knots videos I've seen anybody do. Nice, simple, to the point, good, clean demonstration. Absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. Brilliant. Yeah, Sticks, you said a couple of words on the wrong video. I'm always doing it. I'm forever doing it. I did it this week. I kept calling it Tinder. It's not Tinder, it's kindling. But for whatever happened inside that one of the gears got stuck on the word Tinder.
When he finishes editing, he shows me and he's shouting at the screen himself. No, it's such a.
Yeah, I'm forever doing it. But again, I leave it in, and if somebody picks it up on the comments, and I'll just say, I'm really sorry, but you got to remember this poor old bonce of mine's had brain injuries. It's been floating around for just shy of 60 years, and yeah, it's had its incidents. So again, I'm lucky that it's in function at all. Um, it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. I thought I watched a good video this week on scavenging resources after an HTF situation. Um, it wasn't a very long video, but it made a couple of points which I thought were quite interesting. You know, scavenging is scavenging looting. You know, if you're in a disaster scenario.
Well, looting is when you're actually breaking into properties when it's
yeah, when you're taking you're stealing for profit rather than stealing for survival. Yeah. Yeah, that was quite interesting. It brought up some interesting points. You know, is at what time or what point does scavenging turn to looting? They were on about awareness, security, threat assessments. Yeah, what taking what you need rather than what you want. One thing I'd like to add to that that's worth thinking about, and I'm not going to get deep into it tonight, but it's just ideas to throw at you. It's like scavenging, urban versus rural. You know what the difference is. What think about what equipment you could find, or what items you could find in a rural environment as opposed to an urban environment.
In an urban environment, all you're going to be is TVs and videos and
the ethical moral thought processes. Well, I'll tell you what the ethical moral thought process is. Take what I need for mine to survive. Okay, work morally without, where possible, to the detriment of other people. I.e., you know, if there's nobody else is using it, it's there and available, and it's going to help me and mine in that situation, I'll take it. And yeah, risks and calculated thinking. It's I'm going to probably be chucking that together on an actual fact. I think it's a subject people don't really cover in the prepping survival world. It's a lot of videos I watch from people, and a lot of the big channels, you know, they're all about prepping. Some of them are just trying to sell you their kit, but in a lot of cases, they talk about you have prepped and you have it with you. But if you're going into that situation, no matter how clever or crafty you try to be and prepared, there's always going to be something that you sit there and go, blimey, I could do with that, or I need this, or I need that, whether it's water, food, resources, shelter, whatever. You've got to sort of bear that thing in mind and think, what would I be prepared to do? How far would I be prepared to go? And again, it's very easy in this world these days for some people to sort of say, well, I would do anything. But would you? Okay, you're always going to have to apply the after effect of what you've done to your own moral compass. Otherwise, it's either going to weigh you down or yeah, cause you to fail in your ability to function. Anyway, it's enough of that bit.
Garrett, so did you check out Simba?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to. I did note it on my bit of paper. I'll get Caroline to kick me in the nuts and remind me later on.
It's very true, John. Looting is done to deprive others. Scavenging is done for benefit.
Yeah. It is a fine line. And again, you know, we all do what we had to do to protect those we love. As simple as.
That's what I meant, because you go into, say, it was a shit the fan situation. Yeah. You go into a shop, you're going to grab all like the food bags for storing things, or for keeping water and things like that. Everyone would take the bottles, whereas
sometimes you've got to think outside the box, and it goes back to the old Mad Max 2 scene where he's sitting there eating a tin of dog food.
Yeah,
you know, at the end of the day, you're going to take what you can. When we've seen it in situations all over the world, I'm not going to quote any in particular, but in those situations where people have had scavenge and loot to get by because the system's broken down completely.
You enjoyed that, did you?
It's always interests me in the things that go first and their practical uses and how practical they really are. One of the ones that made me laugh the most was the guy that got found almost starving to death with a very, very badly damaged gut intestine and that, because he'd stolen about 15 kilos of pasta and yet had no way of using any of the water that was available to cook this pasta because the water was contaminated and he knew it. So he was reduced to just trying to crunch dry pasta, which, you can do it for a short term, but it ain't going to do you any good over a long term. And you said when I went and took it, I thought pasta, it will last for ages, and it's a big bag, and it will do me great. And I grabbed that. He said, "How much I wish I'd grabbed something simple like water or a pan to boil water in." He said, "I'm surrounded by water that's contaminated, but if I could have boiled it." So
very like your intro to your video about your moles hiding the Kinsley.
Yeah, I just try and inject a little bit of humour to it. Again, as I said just now, that humour it's a very good survival trait to nurture and to encourage. There is having people around you that will laugh at you when it goes wrong, i.e. you fall in the river and all the rest of it. You know they've got your back. They're going to help you out. They're going to help sort out the hypothermia and that. But definitely going to laugh their asses off about it. Encourages you to laugh and see the funny side rather than losing control or breaking. So I try and encourage humour, although mine's a little bit sort of off centre, I suppose. But yeah, we did that. It was a bit of fun, and we're probably going to chuck some more bits and pieces like that from time to time. It's I think the last one.
Don't we take things too serious? There's times for being serious, but other times you've got to let that go.
I enjoyed doing that video because I wanted to talk about clothing, because I've not seen, and I watch a lot of the big channels, and they do some brilliant reviews and that, and they do some brilliant selling of their kit and stuff, and it's great. But you don't often see people really sort of talking about the basics, and clothing is the basics. It's your first layer of defence. It's your first layer of shielding. But really, truthfully, I'm offering quite a boring subject there. So again, we thought have a little funny intro and that. It just makes something a little bit more of the video. And the other thing I'm also trying to do with that sort of thing is capture people at that point. Somebody said to me, "Look, you've got 10 seconds at the beginning of any video you make to get somebody interested in watching that video through to the end." So again, that's just, it was all I was trying to really do is make it a bit fun and interesting. And of course, with Maxell sitting there in the background making his oohs and ahs.
Watch out, mate.
Giggling. It was I know the bit where he said, "Oh, is that edible?" Because none of it was scripted. It was, we just did it off the top of our heads. Literally, I went, "Oh, no, I'll tell you what, let's do like finding kindling fungus." And he went, "Yeah, look, I'll go and hide a couple of pieces." And he went off and hid them, and I was sat there, kindling fungus, how could you do it? So do a bit sort of Ray Mearsy, David Attenborough, cross Bear Grylls. So that's where it come from. And it was nothing scripted, nothing planned. The sharpening of the stick was just literally, it come to me, head sharpen the stick. You might get attacked by a mole. And it went like that. And when Mac looked at me and he went, "Are they edible?" And I hit a blank. I was like, "What's that for? We're recording this." And I was like, yeah, if you're a beaver. Yeah.
Naughty boy Gary. It's his family's Christmas present, so his wife caught him.
You need to practice your covert skills more, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, speculate to accumulate. John, it makes the lessons learned stick with you and others. It does. It does. Yeah, and again, talking to Max, so it's nothing. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, Mac does not like being on the camera. He's not comfortable on camera, okay? But we've had some really good feedback about the banter. So, yeah, you're going to see, yeah, we'll do more of that. And with time, as Mac gets comfortable, he might well come in front of the camera. Or you might see him, just moving around, setting up and doing things like that. But again, he's a good mate. I'm not going to sort of sit there and force anything on him. Okay, it's simple as that. He's got to do it because he enjoys doing it.
When you date these two to get together,
Oh,
oh dear.
We could take on the world. 1, 2, 3 thing for the end of the world. Mate, I'm all prepared for the end of the world. Yeah. Yeah, Mac is the grey man. He's Mr. Mystery. He's always happy to hear the cycling of the bolt. You don't always need to know where it is. Simple as that.
But Mac, you could be a bit of a Loki, a little bit of a trickster sometimes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's yeah.
Good evening, BJ.
Evening, BJ.
Got your
How
email,
you
thank you.
So covered that. Streaming apps.
Everyone, BJ is winner of the pouch.
Yeah.
Full of goodies.
So that will be coming out to him. We'll get that posted off this week. Hopefully that will, with any luck, BJ, it'll be, I don't know what the postal system's like out there for you guys, but we'll get it off this week ASAP.
4 or 5 days it could come, didn't it?
Hopefully it'll be with you before Christmas. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay. And I hope you and your kids have loads and loads of fun with it.
I think we won't be able to put the cigarette lighter in there, obviously, because it'd be going.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that, do they? So, like I say, yeah. So, other little things that you can stick in your kit. I mean, it's not something that's really essential. I'm not a big drinker. I only drink on a Sunday night. But if, say, God forbid, something happened now, and I got a phone call to go and help somebody, I have to think, I've had a drink, can I drive? So, again, I picked myself up one of those. And it's just a little alcohol breathalyzer kit. Not that it's something I'd carry in the car, because, again, I've got no reason to carry it in the car. I don't normally drink. But it lives in here. And if I suddenly thought, well, my mindset's always been, if I think, oh, do I need to, then I've obviously drunk too much. But in an emergency, I could just make sure I was okay. Okay, and if I wasn't, then I've got to find alternative means.
Martin, how things have changed. You said about Mad Max. Remind you two going to all night cinema in Guildford where you could drink and smoke in there.
Oh yeah.
The last day of in news days 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1. Ah, it's the last day of. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Spooky. Oh.
Step back in time, yeah.
Yeah.
No, a good one, Mac.
Yeah.
Series, yeah. The old ways.
I tell you what, might have a look into that this week, Mac.
You can't do Wednesday because you're busy Wednesday.
Yes, I can't do filming this Wednesday, Mac, because I'm actually out with a scout group. Scouts. I think it's scout group. They're having a day up the woods, so I'm up there doing a bit of demonstrating and taking them through firelighting, some basic
pokey sticks for moles.
Heavy sticks, yeah. Well, I find small light sticks for moles, they're fast. You need something that is quick and light to use. It's like swords. If you're going to do sword fighting, you've got two choices.
Yeah, but are those moles up the woods the ones that go like that and then claws fly out because they've got big old claws?
Yeah, and they've got guns.
Yeah,
definitely. Bit of Jack Arby's.
You got some of Dad's old tools and
see if we can steal a pony from somewhere, and I'll leave it for the introduction shot. So I was like, swords. So you got two choices in swords. Now I'm not a sword fighter. Never have been. I'm an axe man. Okay. My son, however, is a very good swordsman. Okay. Christopher, my older son, he fenced, and Dan has studied both medieval. What was the other one? Norman and Viking sword fighting techniques, including owning these things, which scare the living crap out of me. Well, what was interesting, there was brutal war, i.e., man to man. Basically, you want something heavy, and it's a hacking device. All this thing you see on the movies with lots of fine moves, that's a lot of old rot. It was literally running in there with a shield and a sword and just go for it. There was no art to it, because you were probably too scared, and all you would try and do is knock a lump off the other guy. Art fighting, which is what we tend to see in the movies, they'll swashbuckle in with lots of sword play, and that all comes around through fencing, which was more of a sport and an art form or a dueling technique, where you were trying to scar your opponent, especially if you were Prussian. So that then you came with foils. You had something so light that you could move it very fast and very efficiently. But again, a foil is never going to be any good for you in a survival situation. You can't cut a tree down with it. Whereas a good, solid, broad, heavy.
Yeah, it's like you demonstrate with your axe. You can pull things towards you. You can push things away.
Oh yeah, I mean,
slash
that Viking axe is.
Watch out, because he's right behind you.
Sorry, mate. That Viking axe as opposed to Where is he?
It's right. He's moved now.
So that Viking axe. That's the Viking axe that I made. Okay, and now that's based on a very early bearded axe. Okay, and this simple beard in it means that the axe head itself is quite light, which makes it fast to manoeuvre. Okay, so when it was used as a weapon or for fine work, it was light enough to be able to use delicately or move it fast and agile. It's not going to tear your wrist, damage the ligaments, or cause any damage to bone and muscles. The shaft on it, that apparently is about the right length, and the idea was expand your shoulders, which gave you enough leverage in the throw to put a lot of force on it. Okay, but didn't make it that cumbersome that it was hard to use. The really long axes, they came more with the Danes, that as fighting developed into what we call lined fighting rather than skirmishing. So I formed up lines of men. That long axe was used to basically go over the shield wall and hack into your opponent. Whereas your early Vikings were more of your skirmishers. So they'd run in, they still use a shield wall when they needed to. But that axe was long enough with your arm to go over your buddy and come down and do some damage on somebody else.
Rip some sword out their hand.
And again, a lot of the time they now reckon, because nearly every Viking axe they've come across has this flat end. Okay, well, initially they always thought hammer. It's the obvious thing, isn't it? If you're using it as a tool, it's a hammer. How many times, although you shouldn't really, have we driven a nail in with the axe? Okay, it's a hardened metal. We shouldn't really do that, but hey, we do. But they're saying the other thing was it was used, and a lot of the time they didn't want to kill their opponents. They wanted to take them as prisoners, whether they were going to be taken back to Scandinavia or the Nordic countries to be held for ransom or used as serfs. So again, that gives you the ability to knock somebody out, and believe you me, that's gonna that clouts you know about it, or even break bones. Okay, but that end. That strikes anybody anywhere. That's nearly always going to be a killing blow. So opposed to a standard axe, I've got the little one down rather than a big one, but so you take a standard axe like that, you can still shrink down on it. You can still use it for fine work, but not as well. You don't quite have the control. I tend to, Yeah, you can see there.
Mm.
What I tend to do is that if I'm doing fine work, and that becomes my controlling finger, it helps me to control the angle of the blade. And again, that's a reminder is if you're going to have an edge, you might as well have a blunt end where you can do other work with it. But yeah, when you compare the two items, there's that is so much lighter than even that. And if you're going to go felling trees, yes, it's going to make it harder work. If you're going to do log splitting, it's going to make it slightly harder work. But these were also an everyday tool. So the Vikings, that axe was their Leatherman. They carried it everywhere.
Women as well, wasn't it? Men and women.
Yeah, we always see the picture of a shield, a sword, and an axe. Well, the axe was the big tool. That was the one that went everywhere with them. It was, if you didn't have a knife, you had an axe. Okay, so it was. And probably I don't know. People will argue with it, but I think personally, if it really come to shove to us for a survival situation or a SHTF situation, I would go with an axe. I would take an axe. I'd take my bearded axe because I know how well it can be used, how effective it is. But I would take an axe. I would try and keep an axe on my belt. It probably wouldn't be a particularly heavy axe. It'd be something, again, that I could use light because I can use it as a pry. I can use it to open things. I can use it to break into things, break doors down, knock locks off. I can use it to strike fire. It's got a carbon edge to it. I can use it to drive nails. Like I say, it's also a backup knife. So again, it's a good multi-tool. That combined with a bit of flint, and I've got a good starting system.
Yeah, Gary, we do watch that medieval fighting where they come in with the swords and the maces and things
that's what Dan used to compete in, wasn't it? It's
Derek, the where the bloke made that thing in a military island. They're actually in Hampshire. We've got there's about four, I think it's 3 or 4 of them actually coming to Portsmouth Harbour, and that being one of our main harbours, they put them out to stop. They used to have a net as well. They used to put out through the harbour, and they'd stop the submarines coming in. But yeah, so you know which ones you want about.
Good boy.
You did fencing.
Ooh. I did fencing. I can do picket fencing, chain link fencing, stop fencing.
I sometimes had to make the live fence. We turn the hazel cut 3/4 through the hazel and turn it over. Pioneer kit, yeah. Slingshot, yeah, I love slingshots.
Yeah, axe, saw, shovel, large knife. Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? But again, I think if I tend to think to myself, if it came to that situation where I'm looking at the kit and I've literally got to grab one thing, it's got to go with the axe. Got to go with the axe because it's so versatile. Absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Very underrated bit of kit. And again, it's one of the things that makes me laugh in UK law. I walk down the road with a knife on my belt, I can be arrested. I walk down with the road with an axe in my hand and nobody says a damn thing. And which one am I personally more scared of somebody coming at me with?
Catapult was the first thing that I really learned as a kid.
Yeah.
Apart from my dad, probably about 4 or 5 when my dad showed me how to shoot an air pistol.
Yeah.
But yeah. Catapults, I love catapults.
Yeah, don't you? She got a naughty streak, my wife.
Someone sitting there very quietly.
Yeah, lighter equals faster, definitely. Yeah, stick work, always good. Tomahawk's brilliant bit of kit. Catapult bow. So that John, especially when I'm wearing all my skins, got my shield on my arm, my Viking axe on my shoulder. Yeah, and the same.
The thing is, with your knives now, you put a knife down, you're gonna lose it. But the likelihood you putting an axe down and losing it, it's. Are you going to be out of town? Oh, where are you going?
No, this is asking, will we be out of town? Right. No, we'll be here.
No, we're going to be here on New Year's Eve. We're going to have our own little.
Yeah, we're going. The channel will be live New Year's Eve, as it's a Sunday. So we will be here. We will be live. If you wish to join us, join us. If you're other plans or you're busy partying,
Boxing Day we're going to see our granddaughter.
Yeah, Boxing Day to see granddaughter. Next week, we will be an hour later because I've got to go and see my dear mum on the Isle of Wight, and the only ferry we were able to get back was leaving the Isle of Wight at 6. So it's about an hour's crossing. That gets us into Portsmouth for 7, and I couldn't guarantee to get back here by 8, set everything up, be ready to go for 8. So I'll say now, next Sunday it will be. I'll program I'll set the YouTube up for it, but it'll be at 2100 hours UK time. It'll be an hour later, just to give me a chance to get back. Yeah, Sticks, bill hooks, another good.
You're gonna do us a video of that, Sticks?
Yeah. Well, you look back at old, especially go back to sort of medieval England or medieval Europe. Most of the wars were fought by the farmers who were the serfs to the lords, and usually had to bring what they had. You go, when we watch accurate depictions of it, there was guys stood there with bill hooks, axes. There were guys stood there with pretty much boar spears, which were a hunting device, scythes, literally flails. Okay, a flail, wheat flail, okay, or barley flail, which basically 2 sticks joined together by a piece of chain or rope. Basically super nunchucks. But again, that was the sort of equipment they were armed with. And if they were lucky and there was somebody who was allowed to be a bowman, then, they would be equipped with a yew bow. When they went home, they wouldn't have a yew bow. They would probably have a hazel bow or an ash bow, which was encouraged to be trained with. So but the ordinary fighting man pretty much had what he took from home with him, and he equipped himself. So again, it was use what you got. Bill hook, it's bloody good tool. Slash hooks, again, it's another item that's always made me chuckle.
They don't like it up and do it, Gary.
Yeah, Braveheart. Arm yourself. They armed themselves with what they had. The Lord wasn't really bothered about what they brought with them. He wasn't going to sit there and spend money giving them all a sword and that. He literally just wanted loads of guys that were going to be out there and be brutal. And again, these people, by nature of how they lived, would have either been extremely strong and tough, or basically on their last legs. So as you were running across the battlefield, you were looking at the enemy, and you were probably looking for the old boy that be, he's about 90 years old, I'll take him. Yeah, adapted bill hooks during World War II. Bill hooks have been used for all sorts, mate. It's been one of those brilliant tools. And again, you see the same tool all around the world in different shapes and alterations for the environment. The bill hook is no different to the machete. Okay, it's a different shaped blade. It's a different weight. It's for doing exactly the same job. It's for handling the undergrowth of that environment. The go lock again is exactly the same tool for exactly the same job, but adapted for the plants and materials for the Indonesians. So again, it all is somewhat of a somewhat. if you took a bill hook into the jungle, you'd probably find that it would stick in a lot of the trees and materials you were trying to clear. But for our northern temperate climates, it was absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Right tool for the right job, exactly that. Steel rake, great bit of kit, great bit of kit. Yeah.
Is that my axe up there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's your one. Yeah, everybody should have an axe of their own. That's Kaz's axe. I got my wife a little chopper.
Which I can throw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do the same.
And again, throwing tools, throwing weapons. I got taught a long time ago. There's only one weapon you should ever throw, and that's a stone. Okay. Obviously, I'm not talking about modern weapon systems like grenades and that, but in primitive weapons, the only weapon you should ever throw would be a stone. And I was like, hey, got with spears and stuff. And the guy just looked at me and said, yes, you throw a spear at your enemy and you miss him, you're just giving him another weapon and you've thrown away yours. And he says, spears in ancient warfare were never thrown. They were used as a lance, as a pokey stick. Yeah. A sex. Sexa or scrammer, yeah. Brilliant tool. Made one of those in the forge a long time ago. Again, absolutely fantastic tool. Simple, well weighted, does the job.
Because you've actually done one. He actually made a bearded axe for some good friends of ours when they got married.
Yeah.
To cut their cake.
Cut their wedding cake.
Yeah, and they went to a mead hall for the reception, and the reception said, "Oh, you can borrow ours." He goes, "No, I've got my own. It's my own."
Yeah, made them as part of their wedding present. Made them a bearded axe to cut their wedding cake with, which and it was a small one. I made basically a small bearded axe, just really so they could cut that. Yeah, they could cut the cake with it, and then the idea was they could put it up in a frame, keep it as a memento. Yeah, makes heavy knives, good knives. Okay, you want small, light, fast knives for small, light, fast tasks, cutting food preparation and that. But I really do believe in a good heavy knife. It should be part of your kit. Like I say, I use the Army survival knife.
It's the one that Dolph Lundgren uses in Expendables.
Yeah. It's the weight of the knife does half the job for you. So rather than you having to, especially if you're doing heavy work, you're not having to force it through. You're not having to use that energy to push it through. The weight of the knife's going to do half the job for you. The effort comes in the withdrawal or the lifting of the knife. But again, that's a natural movement for your muscles, is to pull, not push. So again, you're using the most effective energy, and then you're using the weight and momentum of it going forward. Small, light, fast knives.
Yeah, the Army survival knife. That's your favourite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Out of your knives.
A great bit of kit. Yeah, it's MOD survival knife. Right, so the MOD survival knife is no longer being issued within the MOD. Okay, it's ceased being part of the inventory. Inventory. Okay, that's because again, having mates that are in, I was like, "Give me one. I stole one for you," and they were like, "Check on it for you." No, so they're not inventory anymore. So they're now out in the surplus stores. Okay, which means in the next few years they're going to dry up.
The Ukrainian one is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ukrainian knife.
Yeah, they're going to dry up. So if you're in the market for an MOD survival knife, a British Army issue survival knife, At the moment, through the UK suppliers, they're anywhere from 36 to about £80. And I would say to anybody that is looking for a serious knife that will last them a lifetime, it's well worth looking at. Okay, um, don't get it confused with the Go Lock. Some suppliers don't really know what they're looking at when you say MOD survival knife, rather than thinking about the MOD survival knife. They think of the Go Lock, which is yeah, I just two of them up on the wall there. Which again is a damn good tool. It's a very good tool for what it's meant for. But yeah, it's they're going to become very, very rare, and their value will probably go up through the roof. So if you see one, grab it.
He's just saying he's gutted
and
he
hang
got
on
rid
to
of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the market at the moment for another one, because as I've said on the video that showed before, that one that I've got here isn't actually a genuine MOD one. That was a Webtex one. Now, Webtex started producing kit for the military in the 90s to supply things like reserve units, and then they went into providing kit for guys working in the specialist security field or military contractors, so that the guys could have the same quality kit and the same gear. But again, it meant they didn't have to procure it through the Ministry of Defence or through the MOD or pay an outrageous price to buy it from the manufacturer. So Webtex were doing that, and they did everything. They did everything from uniforms to knives, webbing, water bottles, you name it, they made it. And it was good quality kit. That one's a Webtex copy. It's made to exactly the same standard, but instead of having an MOD number on it, it's got Webtex stamped into it. Okay, so again, if you see one that's Webtex, it's not genuine MOD survival knife. It's as good as, absolutely as good as.
Yeah, good crease.
Yeah, clone ones are good. Yeah, you get the Webtex ones for that. And what will happen sooner or later, and it's one to be aware of, is the Chinese are going to jump on it. Okay, now there will be some good companies out there, and there are some great Chinese manufacturers that are producing for high-end markets. Okay, but they're also always the real knockoffs. So again, it's just be a bit aware. But if you see one, especially you're out and about, you're at a car boot sale or you're at a yard sale, and you see one sat there, just bear in mind that's the end of them. There won't be any more produced, except for, the manufacturer is going to keep producing them, and they're going to produce them with the MOD stamp and number on it, but they're going to be collector's items. So their values, straight from the manufacturer, is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, we've got a few more bits coming in the next couple of weeks for you to try out from Temu.
Yeah, we're going to do another Temu haul.
Yeah, we've got quite a few bits we've picked out, and hopefully they're good.
Yes, there's another Temu haul coming up. So the cookeries, cookeries, good tool. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, I do like a good cookery, but you've got to find the right one. Every single one's got slightly different balanced feel to it. Again, because they're all handmade. You know, it's all individual items, and the best ones, I reckon, were made using Bedford 4-ton lorry leaf springs.
It's funny how the Bedford and like Gary's saying, he's having his axe made for him from old Land Rover springs.
Yeah,
is the old like Land Rovers and that they make the best.
Well, it's a spring steel, so it's got quite a high carbon rating to it. Yeah, it's balanced out. So, all right, how do you do this? We have to get into blacksmithy. Higher your carbon content of your steel, the more brittle it is, but the sharper it can be made. Okay, and it produces a very strong steel, but it's brittle. So they'll alloy it with other lower grade steels, and it's finding the right balance. So if you look at a spring steel, so a spring steel, rather than being brittle, is designed to flex over a certain parameters. Okay, so if you look at Land Rover leaf springs or truck leaf springs or leaf springs on cars, they're designed to bend. They're designed to take that load, but they've all got a failure point. They don't bend and stay bent. They will snap. They will shear. Okay. So again, this find that balance. And the great thing with automotive leaf springs, whether it's from a truck, a Land Rover, a car, that steel has got a really, really, really good memory to it. They make absolutely superb knives. Okay, make superb edges on them. And I quite often I've taught people in the past knife making in the forge where they come to me and they want to make a knife. Quite often I've said to them, take something like a leaf spring. Don't worry about having a forge because you actually don't require it. That metal is already at a quality rate and it's already flat. Okay, so if you have to do anything to it, heat it enough to straighten it. Then once you straighten it, mark your knife out and then cut it out. But cut it slowly. Don't overheat the metal. If the metal starts to blue, you've damaged that piece of metal. You've got it too hot. So the idea is to cut it slowly. Okay, very gradual. It's a long process, but you cut it out and then you grind it. And when you grind it, again, you grind it gingerly. You go carefully that you keep it cool. You try not to get it blue. Okay. Once you've done that, just to make doubly sure, you take your finished metal with your finished knife with its edge and everything. You finish it all. Wait till the wife's gone to bed. Turn the oven on. Set it to its highest setting. Okay. Put your blade in there and leave it for 2 hours. Okay, leave it on its highest setting for 2 hours. After the 2 hours, turn the oven off, okay, and leave the door shut. Go to bed yourself. And you want to leave that till it's cool to air temperature. Okay. What it does, that will basically set the molecular structure within the knife. That is a temper. Okay. That is a very basic and simple temper. Guaranteed to work 9 times out of 10, and it's all about the weight. It's all about allowing it to cool back slowly. Okay, that temper will mean that knife will retain its flex, it will retain its bend. Okay, come back to true again for you, but because of the carbon content, will hold a good edge, and then you can make it to whatever size shape you want, fit in the handle, and that again, it's a matter of you will burn through drill bits. It's a tough bit still. But again, you want to rivet it, or as I said, people, if you're going to the simplest thing, recess a couple of nuts and bolts, bolt it and glue it, and away you go. Up on the wall. That was a sticker.
That's a sticker from Temu.
Yeah.
The one that's up
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, as tonight, and when you travel through a lot of third world countries, all through Africa, South America, and that, you will find people making tools and implements from vehicle leaf springs. Absolutely superb bits of kit. Yeah, the Becker BK. Yeah. Expensive, I believe. Yeah, rasps. I mean, I've got 10 Farrier's rasps here. Farrier's rasps make a brilliant knife. If you want to make a working knife and that. This one's been out in the shed. I brought it in today because I'd left it in the shed, and unfortunately my shed had got a bit of a leak, so it has picked up some rust. But that was made from you can just see the pattern on it there, and on that side, I think. Yeah, that was a Farrier's rasp, and
there you go.
That's it. And I made that for leather working. Wanted something that would basically that was designed as a push knife. So you see there the blade drops below my fingers, so that when I'm cutting leather, I'm actually pushing it forward and cutting with it. but it also made quite a small, simple, light, efficient, strong, and fairly weighty knife. So
Also downstairs at the farrier's rasp, I've got a really nice herb cutter.
Yeah.
So it's got the sort of round, sort of rocking blade, so you can cut the herbs.
And the big secret with farrier's rasp really is in the annealing, because I've had guys that have tried to work them straight, and you won't. It's such a strong metal. So basically, what you do, if you've got a forge or you've got the ability to get the metal to the heat, goes into the forge, get it up to a good colour, take it out, let it cool slowly. And again, by cooling it slowly, you're taking it from brittle metal, you're taking the brittleness out of it, making it quite soft. Then you can work it. And then to put the hardness back in, you take it back up to temperature and you quench it. That shocks the crystalline structure of the steel, makes it quite hard, but it again produces a brittle steel. So then we come back to the oven, and you go into the oven and you then temper it. And that tempering, what you're doing is you're bringing it back up to a temperature where the crystalline structure starts to flow. And then by letting it cool slowly, rather than shocking it, you end up with, if you looked at it under a microscope, a quenched metal, all the crystals align like that, and it makes it brittle. If you cool it slowly, they mesh. Okay, and that's what gives it its tensile strength. That gives it the ability to flex rather than snap. Okay, and there's a fine line, and again, that's why I say to you, if I was giving somebody a tip, do it in an oven, because the average household oven doesn't get hot enough to actually ruin the base quench. What it does, it raises the temperature just enough to allow that metal structure to start to loosen up and combine. So it's 2 hours, and then by allowing it to cool slowly, they hold their position. It's and one of the best tools I've ever seen, and I still say today, I think it was one of the finest pieces of engineering I've come across, was actually a bronze sword. Okay, it was quite a short, dumpy sword, and it was only made of bronze, which is quite soft, but it had enough of an edge to do all the jobs it needed to. But it had one thing that most steels don't, and that was if you bent it, you could bend it back very easily. And it was, they said on the battlefield, that was one of the things that would happen with Bronze Age swords, was they'd be going at it one another, and the sword would be bending with the blows and that. But as soon as the guy could, he could literally put it on the deck, stamp on it, straighten it up, pick it up, and use it again. Yeah, 400 degrees, 2 hours in the oven, works. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I do, mate. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah, see, Lee's another one like me. He's a blacksmith dude, so yeah.
Night
Sticks, night, mate. Take it steady, be good,
week.
Look after yourself, say hi to the kids from
remember
me.
Next week it's 9 o'clock onwards.
Yeah. Have a great week, my friend. Keep the videos coming. Oh. Yeah, it's got to dive back up through that. Yeah, knives. So, and again, isn't it? Is there's so much choice in knives out there. Again, it's just find the right thing for yourself. Find what you, because like I said, people, the first thing on any knife, the first thing with any knife is pick it up, put it in your hand.
It's got to feel right. It's like when you throw darts.
Yeah.
You've got to feel right, hasn't it?
Yeah.
In your hand.
The amount of times I picked up high-end knives and I've looked at these things and thought, I love that. Yet when I've picked it up, it's just, yeah, it doesn't quite feel right. I mean, the one of the ones I've always fancied getting myself was the old Lofty Wiseman survival knife. But again, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to buy something that there is a chance that when I get it, I'm going to go,
yeah,
don't work for me. If I can put my hands on one, find somebody that's got one, so I can actually pick it up and handle it, then I can sort of go, yeah, that works for me, or no, the balance is all wrong for me. Because again, it's not a uniform thing. We're all different. Your shape of your hands different, dexterity is different, even down to the grip structure with your hand. Depending on what you've done in your life, you're going to have different tendons and muscles in your hands that are used to stretching, pulling, and putting effort in certain ways. It's like I say, shooters. Okay, you find somebody's done a lot of pistol shooting, and you start looking at their hands. You start looking at how their hands position, and you know they're a pistol shooter. Um, you can look around a room. It's one of You can look around a room and see who's a pistol shooter. You can also tell who's a teacher and who's a writer because it's how they position their hand. Because they spend so many hours practicing that their hands then start to relax to that normal position because the tendons and the muscles, the bone structure, even how the bones are formed and reformed, it will replay that. It's one of the things that makes me laugh is you talking about people that shoot rifles or use rifles a lot, especially military guys, and you say to them, as watch picking a rifle, and you see them do that, but you see the trigger finger comes out straight away. You see the hands folding for the grip, the other hand's starting to come up. You're
my
like,
finger does that because I've got that one doesn't bend, does it? I've got a bar in there.
Yeah, you sort of. I've said the past, you always tell a water because the water goes, I'll pick up my gun like that, and you're like, well, I've never held anything like that in my life. It's whether it's a pistol grip, whether it's a stock or a shotgun, okay, whatever it is, that finger instinctively, when I'm talking about firearms, wants to come out. If it's a pistol, the finger comes out, okay, because it's automatic. My brain's going safe position. And it goes outside and alongside and above, so it becomes an instinctive thing.
Yeah, Lee, he's always had Mora knives, haven't you?
Moras, yeah.
Always.
I got my first Mora knife when I was about 15, and it was in a black plastic sheath, and it had a red wood handle, and it was quite a long one. And that cost me at Millets then, I think they were about £6. And it was, I bought it. I didn't like it when I first saw it. I thought plastic sheath, didn't like that. I really wanted a Bowie or a leather sheath hunting style knife. But all I could afford was this Mora, and I bought it, and blimey, was it sharp. Same thing with it, funny enough, same thing, but the same sort of age, I bought my first Opinel, okay? And I hated it. Because at that time I was big into buck knives. Many of you remember buck knives, don't see them that often in the UK anymore, but it was a walnut knife with brass end caps. It was a clip point blade locker. Beautiful knife. Absolutely loved them. And again, I think I actually gave my buck knife to somebody for some reason. I went to get another one, and they didn't have one. And I thought, I need a knife. So I bought this Opinel. Bloody hell, was that sharp. Was that sharp. That held an edge beautifully. But I hated the knife, and I still today don't like the locking system on them. There is something about the shape of the handle, and I think it's because it's so sharp. I've got this thing in my head. It's either going to close on my fingers, or my fingers are going to run down that blade. You won't be disappointed. They are immensely sharp. If you've got the stainless steel, brilliant. If you've got the carbon blade, okay, those carbon blades are super sharp. They are like razors. Absolutely brilliant for food prep and that. Again, same issue with any folding knife. It's keeping it clean. So yeah, give it a good dig out on a regular basis. Yeah, and they are absolutely superb knives. So for me, for food prep, I've got the little more up there with the yellow sheath. You can see it hanging up. That's my food prep knife. That's got stainless steel blade on it. Again, because it's stainless steel, so it doesn't get affected if I'm chopping onions and that. Yeah, that's the is he?
He's,
Oh, he's over there.
yeah. We got to be careful because his lordship likes to get underneath the chairs, and he's been very quiet this evening, which probably means he's going to do the same he did last night. About 1 o'clock, he's going to start playing.
It wants a bit of a clean, unfortunately. I've abused it a little bit this week. There's a little bit of sap on there, but that's Beavercraft. Okay, so any of you looking for a bushcraft knife made in Ukraine, I can put my name to that quite happily, and they're very affordable. Okay, this I think it's sub 40 quid, and it's a knife that will last you a lifetime. It really will. Absolutely beautiful knife, well balanced, well made. They work really, really nicely. And again, by buying it, you're helping support Ukrainian business. Not that I'm getting in any of the politics over that. Okay, purely and simply because I don't want to.
Gary wants to know, what do you prefer to cook with food? Stainless steel, aluminium?
Stainless steel, mate.
Yeah.
And I tell you for why. Aluminium. No, let's get this right. Aluminium. I've got lots of aluminium kit. Aluminium, I'll boil water in. I'll do boiling the bags in. I would cook in it if I had to. I will not put metal into aluminium because you will always you damage the aluminium. It ends up leaching. Okay, and there's a lot of research. I've got a family member that's got dementia, and when they first started struggling with it a few years back, I did some research on that, and they're starting to link a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia to aluminium toxicity, because in the last, especially 60 years, our cookware pretty much at one point was everywhere you went aluminium. Okay, and they're not saying it's the total cause, but they are putting links in there. So again, I don't like, or these days I try not to prep food in aluminium. Saying that, and obviously a survival situation, you do what you got to do. But yeah, I prefer stainless steel to aluminium. Yeah, brilliant, mate, brilliant. Yeah, canteen cups. Okay, so I've got a canteen cup up there, which I think is Yugoslavian or Romanian. That's aluminium. I'll boil water in that. I'll make brews in it. I'll stick a ball in the bag in it. I'll drink coffee out of it. That's not an issue. But again, I don't put metal in there. I don't make stews and stuff like that. I've got cast iron. I do use cast iron, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. And other cases, it's stainless steel. Purely simple. The other thing with stainless steel, it's so easy to keep clean. So much easier.
Yeah, John, John said you love the canteen cups they're sending.
Brilliant.
For you and Mac.
I'm looking. Me and Mac were actually saying we're getting quite a bit excited there, mate. Bit excited. You got us all excited again. Brand new, about 30 plus years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, Gary. I mean, Gary, mess tins, they've been around for, I've got about 5 or 6 around here, been around for years. Use them. I tend to use, my mess tin for me is something to eat out of, i.e. I'll put food into it and use it like a plate. Again, when I'm doing that, get yourself plastic sporks, okay, or spoons, and that way you're just reducing that risk. If you're using metal in there, and that's where the issue is using metal in it. And the old technique in the British Army of using a BREW to clean out the mess tin. Again, that's what
those racing spoons. The ones we got from Timu.
Yeah.
They were sort of derivative of bamboo, I think they are. But yeah.
Yeah, these days, mess tins, spoil in the bag, all goes in there. Yeah, they do. Stoves. And the other one is, I mean, that I've got here that I go to a lot, and I do use a lot and have used a hell of a lot over the years, is the old Swedish M40 stove.
I remember when you got that.
Yeah.
That was years and years ago.
Donkeys years ago.
Yeah, that was that.
Where have I put that?
The War and Peace show we went to.
Yeah, what's that?
In Kent.
I was a wee nippler then.
There's the stalls at the War and Peace show are huge. It's like digging around. It's like
okay. So that's you've probably seen them before, Gary. I'll probably teach you to suck eggs, but that's the old Swedish stove. So what you get in there, that's your cooker base, and you use a trangier with it, or you can use it as a twig stove, and it will also work two ways up. So you pull those out like your trangier, put it on the deck, and it just sits over it. These are your pot supports. So what happens, you've got a nice big boiling container, and that just sits at the perfect height above the trangier in there. You've got all the wind deflector there, or like I say, you can use it as a twig stove. If you're going to use it as a twig stove, what I've found works best is to actually use it that way up, feed the twigs in from here, okay? Or you can even feed them in from the side, it's a bit small, but feed them in from there and set your pot on it that way, okay? So it gives a nice shield. And you've got that which is supposedly a frying pan. But the nice simple thing with that is you've got these two metal loops which you can put a stick in, and you can then use that on an open fire. You can use it over that, and in that fact, it will either drop down there to the recesses, okay, or you can set it up a bit higher if you just want to keep things warm. It also has that cut out on the bottom, so it reverses, sits on the stove as a lid, keeping things warm. And finally, and best of all, you can hang it over an open fire. Okay, they are getting expensive now, but I do occasionally see them coming up online on eBay with people that don't know what they've got. And so occasionally you can see one cheap. If you do, grab it. Those you can buy reasonably inexpensively on eBay. They come up all the time because people have lost the rest of the set. But that will also work with the German cook set. So if you've got German pot, Romanian pots, Hungarian pots, basically any of the systems like that will fit in there. So, and you can usually pick those up fairly cheap. Sorry about the banging and clapping about. That is one of my favourite cook sets. I absolutely adore that. And it is aluminium, this one. You can get stainless steel. I like that because of its rugged ability, and the fact that I can use it in so many different roles, from open fire to mess stove to hexamine to pretty much you name it. It's
your hexy blocks, Mac. So you never run out of hexy blocks. Never can it carry on.
Yeah, you got the steel ones. So you got the later ones, John. They went over to steel, and the steel ones are better. Okay, they're a little bit dodgy. In the UK, I've seen those fetching 140 to 150 quid now. Okay, basically that one was Amazon. That little meth stove, and I think that was on Amazon for about. I think it's about £15 UK. So they're quite cheap and affordable. You don't necessarily have to buy the Trangier one, because again, there's some real good knockoffs out there. The original military one that came with that kit was actually a little bit larger than the standard Trangier stove, but I found that the standard Trangier stove works fine with it. Hey, they were of steel. Yeah, so I've just got that, John. Sorry, mate. I'm fucking slipping there. They got £8 on eBay. Yeah. So again, and it's one of those bits of kit. If you can find it, it's well worth grabbing. Well worth grabbing. Yeah, it's shop around, see what's out there. I've always got my eyes open. And quite often, bits of kit, it's things like car boot cells.
And I often go and look at Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few bits for you on that.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Amount of times you walk around a car boot sale and see something somebody's selling because they had it 10 years ago and it's just sat in the garage and they've got no idea, or Uncle Bob had it and they don't even know what it is. And they're sitting there and you walk up and of course you're inside, you go, oh, I want that. You walk up and you go, oh, you've got one of them. You haven't got the other one, have you? And they go, no. And always that's my trick. Oh, I'll sort of walk up to that, the complete set, and I'll walk up, look at it, and go, oh, you haven't got the legs that go with that, have you? You haven't. Oh, bugger. It's not so much good without the legs. Tell you take a tenner for it. It's a naughty trick, but again, survival, preparedness, bushcrafty. Use that. Okay? Use that. Because at the end of the day, if they don't know what it is and they're prepared to let it go for a tenner, they're probably more happy.
There was no house you would be.
How's the Wooby? The Wooby is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Right? Yeah, Wooby is absolutely stunning. Yeah. Oh, you've only got the old heavy one, the early model. You haven't got the improved version, the number 9. Yeah, exactly that, John.
Well, I suppose he's better than nothing.
Yeah. There's a wall hanger. I'll give it to the nipper. He can practice on it. Saves him knackering my good one. Yeah, exactly that. And let's face it, if they know what it's worth, they're going to look you in the eye
and go, sod off.
Sod off, right? If they don't know what it's worth, they'll probably walk away going, that idiot gave us a tenner for that. What an idiot. Okay? So you're not robbing anybody. You're
you're giving them than they are.
You're giving them what they're prepared to take for it.
That old chestnut.
Oh, it's a shame it's not the complete set. If it was the complete set, it'd be worth something, but nah, it's.
I think you use it spares.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it can sit in the cupboard. I'll give it to the nipper to play with. It's yeah. I've had that a few times. In actual fact, I had a mate years ago who used to go to a lot of car boot sales. It was his thing. In actual fact, he was supposed to be working most weekends that the car boot sales were on, and he would clear off for a couple of hours to a rather large big one that was near us, or near where we worked. He'd be like, do us a favour, mate. Can you just cover for me whilst I dive down the car boot sale? And he would clear off 6 o'clock in the morning, be one of the first there and go round. And he'd come back one day and he said to me, I picked up a lovely replica pistol. I went, did you? He went, yeah, it's a real beauty. It's a lovely replica. It's a blank firer. It's all right, let's have a look. He went out to his car and he brought it in. He put it in front of me like that. Picked it up, looked it over, stripped it, checked the barrel and everything else. But it's a blank firer. Looking down the barrel, nice rifling. Chambers all in good order. Mag's good. Cycles properly. Fires properly. So, that blank firer you got? He went, yeah. I said, it's not a blank firer. And it basically, I mean, he did the right thing. He handed it in. Okay. So he lost it, unfortunately. But it turned out when the authorities got involved, it had been something that had been in the family for absolutely donkey's years. I think Grandad had brought it back from the Second World War. And as he got older, rather than tell people, yeah, I've got that old fucking Luger pistol up there and it's my souvenir from the Second World War, he just went, yeah, it's a blank firer.
Is this
when he passed, they can't booted it. Yeah.
So BJ, whoops, there is your nice parcelled up kit.
Yeah, we'll have that posted out to you, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one, isn't it? Things like lamps and lanterns and that. Okay, yeah, they're out there. Again, quite often it's an antique. You'll find it with the glass missing, but you can usually find the glass. wicks burnt out. And again, people, they've had it knocking around in the shed, or they've had it in the garden as an ornament. Half the time, all you've got to do is remove the cruddy paint off it that they put on the bit of household gloss, give it a clean up, put a new wick in it, replace the glass, whatever, and away it goes.
Like good night, Katrina. Have a good night. Good week, lovey.
Yeah, it's amazing what you find. Axes, tools. Blimey, the amount of times I've been to pubs and things like that in the UK, and I've looked up at the stuff that's hanging on the wall, and I'm sitting there going, bloody hell, that is an 18th century two-man saw. And I go over and have a look at it, and it's still as good as the day it was first used. And I said to myself, if you went to buy that today, it will cost you thousands. Okay, axes, tools, equipment, bill hooks. You sit there. It's all out there. It's just a matter of finding it. And that's part of the fun and adventure of going around things like that. You never know what you're going to find around the next corner. And again, second-hand market. Okay, things like rucksacks. Okay, I've over the years I've bought numerous rucksacks from car boot sales or even charity shops.
You got a really nice one for £4, wasn't it?
Yeah. You always have a look at the charity shop, see what's there.
That was good.
Yeah, that's a good boy. Clarice Cliff, can't stand the stuff.
I can't.
Never liked the colours. BJ, it's not a problem, my friend. It's a pleasure. Over the moon. Okay. We drew it out, and I'll be honest with you, mate. I see so many comments on a daily basis. So we drew it out, obviously, and then I thought, right, I said, Kaz, we'll go back through the comments section. And went back down through the comments section. As soon as I saw you got kids, mate, I was like, great, to have fun with that.
Gary, I would take that. Yeah.
Right. Gary, a funky talks sense, but he's an alarmist. Okay. Personally, I'm an old country boy. Okay, so every winter I prepare for the worst and practice for the best. I will always have a box of candles tucked away, and I've always got spare batteries and a couple of torches.
Okay? It's just at the moment that
they
it's more to do with the weather, isn't it? That's causing more of the power cuts and the flooding and things like that.
The thing is,
makes common sense.
At the end of the day, the mainstream media sell papers through alarming people. Funky, I've followed for years, and I've got a lot of time and a lot of respect for the guy. Now, his old channel, where he was doing bushcrafting, prepping, survival skills, I enjoyed. His new channel, just every week, it's more conspiracy, more fear.
Alarmists.
There's never an answer put forward. Okay? I have no problem. Come to me with a problem. But if you're going to come to me with a problem, come to me with a couple of answers. Okay? And there are...
When people start getting alarmist like that, it sets off.
I thought about this when I first started my channel. Somebody who's very dear to me said to me, if you want to make your channel huge quickly, get into all the conspiracy theories. Because there are hundreds of thousands, millions of people out there that love a conspiracy theory and will hang on every word. And the problem is that's not me. Yes, there are issues out there. Yes, I don't trust the government. I don't trust any government. I don't trust any figure of authority because I've always got it in the back of my mind. Why did he become a figure of authority? Probably wasn't to help people. It might well be because he wanted to line his own pocket in some way or gain power. That's why people do that. Okay. So I never trust them. However, I look at problems and issues and I'm pragmatic about it. Yes, there is a chance of power cuts this year. Okay. There is every winter. Our infrastructure in the UK, whether it be electricity, gas or water, has been privatised for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And those companies have put no money into the infrastructure. Yeah, millions of more houses have been built, quite often on floodplains. Okay, towns have got bigger and bigger and bigger, but the infrastructure has never been improved. Sooner or later, you come to a point where it overloads. We're in a situation in the UK at the moment where, if there is a main football match on, like one of the big ones, okay, at about 5 minutes before half time, the national grid starts shutting down non essential power and rediverting it to household power because they know millions of kettles are going on, okay, and it causes an issue. And that's just because there's a football match on. Now, if you take it, we suddenly get, not talking localised like we just had a cold snap and it was fairly localised. You got the north, got the snow and got the worst of it. Down here, it wasn't so bad. And towards the west, it wasn't quite so bad. Okay, so they were able to shuttle power around the national grid to keep everything running. If we had a nationwide situation, especially if it was prolonged, and I'm not talking a week, I'm talking 2-3 weeks, it could cause a breakdown of the infrastructure. The other thing is to think our electrical cabling, a lot of that is overground cabling. A lot of it goes through, it's suspended. Now, that has an issue, especially as a lot of it is very old, that when it ices up, that creates a lot of weight. I mean, when you look at those high tension cables that are up there, stretching from the big pillars to the big pillars, some of those are a quarter to half a mile apart. Right? And they are a 1.5 to 2 inch copper core cable. Okay, that's a lot of weight on its own. And now you think of that icing up, okay, and how much weight that adds. And it's only got to drop one of those out. Okay, one of those has failed. That pillar is now isolated. Okay, so you then got a situation where usually they react fairly quickly and it's a short-term power cut because they can shuttle it around other ways. But again, if you think of it from a national level, yes, could be a situation where we could have power cuts this year. Am I worried by that? No, as a survivalist and a prepper, okay, I've got my brew kits, I've got my cook sets, okay, I've even got, and these are well worth investing in. They're fairly cheap online.
Another thing is the fact that he does a lot of things on YouTube because that's how he makes his money, because he earns off YouTube by donations.
Yeah, which is okay.
But if that you got to if you're relying on people to give you donations, you've got to keep hammering stuff out.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've learned is if you've got a channel, so I don't make a penny on this channel, and they're to keep it going. If somebody like him that's full time, he needs to make an income. I'm okay. I've got a secondary income. I've got my pension basically. So again, I get by on that. So again, that's a little heater, and that just goes over one of the camping gas stoves, and that's enough to heat a room. Now you have to bear in mind that your gas is finite, so this is only going to be used to warm the room when you really need it to warm the room. Okay. But again, having your cook system, extra blankets, batteries for your torches, batteries for your lights, even down to, little tip for you, the cheap garden solar lights. Okay, these cheap garden solar security lights.
Shed lights as well.
I've got one set up in the bedroom because that window faces south, and I've got the solar panel sat in the window, and that just charges on a daily basis, and if I need it, it's there. Switch it on. Okay, it's going to give me enough illumination in the room, and it will recharge itself the following day as long as you've got enough ambient light. And the modern kit doesn't actually need direct sunlight. A lot of them just need a reasonable day. It doesn't have to be super bright, and you can have cloud cover.
Yeah, hot water bottles.
A hot water bottle is essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that is Who would put that up? Yeah, Mac.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be that. Right, hot water bottle, essential item. If you are going to live in a cold climate or you're going to face cold conditions, a hot water bottle chucked into your bed 10 minutes before you get into the bed, or the kids, or the missus, or whoever's going to bed, hot water bottle chucked in 10 minutes beforehand will warm the bed. And that will, A, they will go to sleep quickly, and B, they will stay warm all night.
Another thing I used to do is lift the end of the quilt up, get my hair dry, and just blow into the end of the the quilt and put it down.
Yeah, the thing is with a bed exactly the same as a sleeping bag, doesn't generate any heat whatsoever. It just traps your body heat. And if you go to bed cold, then you'll stay cold. If you can warm the bed slightly, or your ambient body temperature's up, i.e., you've gone to bed, walked into the bedroom, fully clothed, or you've gone and had a shower, your body's nice and warm when you get into the bed, that will trap that heat there. But if you've gone into a situation where you're actually bitterly cold and you get into bed, you're going to stay cold. And I think we've all experienced it sometime or other, where you think to yourself, you wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, you go, why am I still cold? I'm sucked under the quilt, my feet are freezing. Yeah, it's because you're actually insulating yourself and you're not generating enough heat to warm that up. So again, a hot water bottle chucked in beforehand. And in fact, when I was a nipper, there was 4 brothers, right? 1 hot water bottle. So the youngest one went up first. Okay, so he had it in his bed for 10 minutes beforehand. He got into bed, and before he got into bed, he chucked it into the next bed, and so on and so on and so on. And it went round like that until he got to the brother below me, who was not so keen on bloody sharing. But I was lucky, I had a Labrador. So I used to get the Labrador all curled up in the bed with me, keep me warm.
Yeah, I've got hand warmers in my ouch pouch bag.
Yeah, and it's quite surprising how effective that'll be. But Funky, yeah, I've got nothing against Funky. What he does is just it's a bit too paranoid for me, I'm afraid. And he has been caught out a couple of times on a couple of things he said. He tends to want to go to the extreme.
You'll love that Russian blanket. That you'll one you love it, don't you?
Yeah.
Max just ordered himself one.
Yeah, brilliant. And they're felted wool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. The Russian blanket, do love it. It's a felted system and it's super thick.
I always find it because you get in most when you get into like at home, when you get into a normal bed, you have cotton sheets.
Yeah.
Or polyester.
Flannelettes won't go in the winter.
A friend of mine, a traveller friend, she always used to use the those sort of fleecy blanket.
Yeah.
Like fleecy throws with like pictures on, of a tiger or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We got one with a deer head, and we put that under. So when you get into bed, you automatically start warming up. It's like a hamster bed because
it's that pile.
The heat.
The pile traps any heat that you've got and holds it there. Army blanket. Yeah, well, you've got cats. Your bed's always warm. Yeah. That's
we got Willow. He makes like these little hot patches wherever he goes. He comes between us, and he goes down the end. And the other day I woke up and I was having he's on my head.
Yeah, cool.
All you can see was part of my fringe and his tail down.
Look like Davy Crockett. No, it's
animals make great bed warmers.
Yeah, and you use everything to do. And to be honest with you, Gary, don't panic about it. It's an adventure. Okay, apply all the common sense and all the stuff you already know. You've already got it all up there. People say, "Oh, about the fridge, the freezer." Keep them shut. If you've got freezer blocks, chuck them in your freezer. The camping freezer blocks, chuck them in your freezer. They'll sit at the bottom of the drawer. They'll stay frozen, but they will release or stay cold for a very long time. Now, if it's 3 or 4 days, you're going to lose what you got in your freezer. But eke it out.
Yes, you spend many a night with Guinness out on the moors.
I thought I was a mattress.
He wasn't good when you were having a bath.
No.
Because the amount of times that I was having a bath when we were staying with us, I'd be laying like that, and next thing I know, my head was nearly underwater because he decided that he was going to jump in and share the bath.
Mac had a black Labrador called Goodness.
Yes.
Lovely dog, but yeah, it could be a little bit over friendly at times. You know, come wandering into the tent, it's pouring the rain, soaking wet, rivers running through the tent. You know, you're sitting there inside your bivvy bag, and the dog goes, "Well, I'm not laying in the water," and he climb up on top of you. And he's a big old lab as well. Beaver, yeah, bought far off that. Yeah, so yes, don't panic about it, don't flap about it. But yeah, a couple of sensible methods of preparedness, and I do it every single winter. And again, it's the same thing like tin goods. Okay, I've got a little surplus of tin goods. I've got enough to get me and Kaz by for a couple of weeks if we need to.
Like pasta, rice.
Yeah, always got a bit of extra stock. And it's not expensive stuff, it's the cheap stuff. Get it when you can.
Like long life milk.
Yeah.
Got long life milk as well. And fruit juice.
Yeah. Long life milk. It isn't the nicest milk in the world. I'm the first to admit that, coming from a dairy background. But
makes a damn good rice pudding.
Yeah, it sits in the cupboard and it's better than going without. And let's face it, if the power did go down, we had a power cut, the last thing you want to do is leave home. You want to hunker down at home, get yourself as comfortable as you can.
Do you not have it in America?
Stay warm.
It's
pasteurised milk.
Yes, it's
been boiled to death.
Yeah.
And so it basically has a long shelf life.
We get 3 types. No, not dry, it's liquid. And you can have skimmed, semi-skimmed, or the full fat. And we get it in cartons, like square box cartons.
UHT, they call it.
Yeah, UHT.
Yeah.
It's usually French, isn't it?
Yeah. Ultra heated treatment. And basically it is pasteurised to death. And yeah, shelf life 6 months or so.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah.
So keep it in the cupboard. You don't have to be refrigerated.
This time of year, we just keep a couple of litres in the cupboard. And then if we run out of milk, if there's a power cut, if for some reason, that's the other thing you've got to think. If you have a power cut, why are you going out? If it's not to go and visit family and friends and make sure they're okay, there's no point in going out. Because if it's a major power cut, there's going to be no petrol stations, no shops open, no banks, no facilities, because they'll lose their power as well. So your best bet is to have enough supplies, set yourself up. I work on a simple system myself. Basically, I can hunker down at any time for 5 days. Okay. And I work on the principle of 5 days of self-sustainment. Okay. After the 5 days, then I might need to go and resup, or I might need to go and change things up a little bit. But within those 5 days, I'm going to be able to look at the situation, make a plan, adapt to it, and move forward.
We've always got tea, coffee, sugar, milk. I would say army mint chocolate, but I've run out of that, so I'm on the options now. Yeah, we do. It's not everyone likes it because it can taste a little bit hinky.
Yeah, UHT milk basically it's an ultra heat treatment. So rather than the standard pasteurisation, which takes up to 77.8, I think, degrees, holds it there for about 10 minutes.
At least it's 57 degrees they heat it to.
This is taken up to a stupid temperature. It's almost steam, held there for a long period of time, and then it's brought back and it just kills off any bacteria. And then under a sterile environment, it's packed and sealed, so it's no oxygen containment. And it's just an ultra long life milk.
We do the same, Gary.
Powdered milk, tin milk.
Like they got, if I see a special on the carrots and parsnips, things like that.
Yeah.
We get them, and Brussels, parboil them, put them in little freezer bags, put them in the freezer. So.
Yeah, and evaporated milk. We've always got tins of evaporated milk, tins of condensed milk. Again, because it's a backup source.
And like coffee mate stuff.
Nice rice pudding. So again, that. And staple stocks, rice. All right, so people will say, you can't make a rice pudding without pudding rice.
Condensed milk.
You can make it with any rice, as long as you're prepared to take the time to do it.
I like that cream. The you get it in the tins and you shake it, and it turns into a sort of more solid cream. I can't remember what it is now. It's not condensed. It's not evaporated. It's another sort of tin. Nestle used to make it. You'd shake it.
Pasteurisation did become a law in
Yeah,
the
he's got lots of
1970s, and that,
those.
but there are companies now. So if you go, there are 2 or 3 companies that it does not have to be pasteurised anymore. They're allowed to filter because we've got the filter technology now. So you can buy milks that are filtered, and there are some fairly nice brands out there. The milk tastes getting back towards what I remember as a nipper myself. Because again, I grew up taking milk from the cow. So basically, before it was even pasteurised, a jug came out, went into the house. And we worked on a simple principle. We know all the kit and equipment's clean, and that cow is producing milk for its baby that is full of antibiotics or natural antibiotics and antibodies, and is there for a developing animal from birth. If that's not safe to drink, bugger all is.
Yeah,
So we
sorry.
used to take the cream off the top. We used to fight over who was getting the cream off the top.
That's a bit straight. Yeah. But yeah, he gets a 3-in-1 for coffees. I don't like sugar, so it have to be 2-in-1. But we have a cafetiere as well, so we've got ground coffee, or we buy the beans. So we've got so many different choices out there. Yeah, it's not condensed milk. I like condensed milk. I know that
you can have. And I think if you're a sole producer or for your own self, you can still have fresh, straight
sterilised cream.
Sterilised cream, that's the one,
yeah.
Because again, at the end of the day, you're raising the cattle. It's for your use. You're not putting it into the food chain. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's Cravendale. I think they're the one that do it. All their milk's filtered. None of it's pasteurised. And the problem with pasteurisation, I have no problem with pasteurisation because again, our milk for sale was pasteurised. Okay, where I got narky with it, and it annoyed me, was when we went into the European Union. The Milk Marketing Board, which had existed for years and years beforehand, and it set the price between what the farmer got and what the shop could charge. Okay, and it was an independent body, so the farmers got a fair rate, and the consumer got a fair price. That was got rid of.
That's it. Carnation extra thick cream.
That was all got rid of. So basically the stores started setting the price. Well, of course, they don't want to pay the good old farmer, do they? And they've got to keep it cheap for the member of the public. So the farmer ends up losing out. But the thing that really annoyed me was the European Union decided that we had to go to their method of pasteurisation. Now, when I was a boy and we pasteurised our own milk, the milk was drawn from the cow, it went through the equipment and it went into a pasteurisation tank, big stainless steel tank that was kept scrupulously clean. And the milk was brought up to temperature, held at temperature, okay, and then went. That was it. Right. Then we had to go to the European system of pasteurising, which is introducing boiling water to the milk as well. Okay, which dilutes the milk. Okay, that ruined it for me because I can hand on heart say that nearly everybody I've ever met that's not of my age will have never had the pleasure of tasting proper milk because it's thinned down rubbish. And then you had all the push towards skimmed. It's not skimmed. It's had more boiling water added. There's all that's. It's thinned out. It's not actually skimmed. If you skim milk, you're either making cheese or soft cheese. You're not. You skim milk, you take the curds off of it. Okay, you take the curds off it. You separate the curds of the whey. Okay, and anybody that's ever been around cheese manufacturing, right, you don't really want to drink the whey because it is just It's it's water with a hint of milk product in it.
It's like
that's got me. Sorry, it's something that was always upset me my whole life
Yeah.
because it ruined the British farming industry. And the only reason they did it was up until that point, before we went into the EU, we were one of the top producers of butter, cheese, and milk to the entire European Union. Okay, we exported tons and tons and tons of it. And as soon as we set foot into Europe, they tied us up and destroyed our farming industry. They absolutely destroyed it in favour of themselves, and it just sickens me.
It's like scaremongering with the papers. Keep saying, "Oh, Christmas Day, we're gonna have no vegetables and no trimmings," and it's
just trying to up the sales for the supermarkets.
You think you'll stop people panicking again, and everyone's going to go out and buy everything, and then after Christmas, everyone's throwing it in the bin because they never ate it to start off with.
Well, let's face it, nobody's ever going to read a newspaper that's got the headline, "It's all good."
No.
Well, isn't that funny? We talk about healthy life. Okay, so how many of you can remember how many times in your life you've been told, you got to stop eating this, you got to stop eating that? It's not good for you. This ain't good for you. Butter isn't good for you. You got to eat margarine instead of butter. I remember that as a nipper. Stop eating butter, eat margarine. Okay, have margarine instead. It's better for you. Okay, it's man-made. It's healthier. Okay, stop eating this, stop eating that, and then all of a sudden now they're turning around to us and going, actually, do you know what? That's got all the bad chemicals in it, but actually the chemicals that are in butter aren't so bad for you. Oh, and that was it, the one they got me on cholesterol. Okay, so for years banging on me about my cholesterol, and now they're saying, well, actually, you know, your cholesterol level's high, but you've got the good cholesterol, not the bad cholesterol. Just make your minds up.
It flips, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's all control.
Anyway.
Yeah, salt bad, salt good. And do you know what the golden thing is? And I was told it as a kid, all things in moderation.
Well, you're not gonna eat a whole tub of salt, are you?
Don't eat chocolate. Chocolate's bad for you. Now what they're saying, actually, do you know what? If you've got high blood pressure, you should have a bit of chocolate. It reduces your blood pressure, right? And the darker the chocolate, the better. Well,
yeah.
For years we were told don't have the chocolate. Yeah.
Like future things. What we're doing now is
But yes.
We're we don't want to come. Oh, my phone's gone. Me.
Ideas for videos.
Yeah, ideas for videos. What we're doing is
no limit on haggis or brown sauce.
We're making notes now of things people are asking you. Could you do
like
this?
To see
yeah, not
demonstrated.
To see. And then it's getting put down, and then we can go. It's a bit like my name is Earl. We can have a list.
Yeah.
Let me just go cross that off our list.
One of the difficulties for me running this channel is I'm constantly looking at it and going, oh, I've done that before. I've done that before. I've done that before. Okay. And as with anything in this world,
hot 10, definitely doing hot 10.
As with anything in this world, there are limitations. Okay, there's only a finite number of. Well, I say finite number. There's only reasonably. Let's face it, survival. Okay, survival will break down to shelter, food, water, fire, and so on. It's basic. Okay, there are only a limited number of methods and techniques that actually, for me, work. There are methods out there which don't work. When I say don't work, they work, but it depends on your environment and your situation. There's no point me trying to demonstrate desert survival in the UK. There's no point in me trying to do jungle survival in the UK or arid climate survival in the UK. What I can do in the UK is northern temperate climate, arboreal climate. Cooking recipes, yeah, I'm up with that.
And the hot tent, you've already got a hot tent ready for
What
doing
items
your
would
thing.
you need to keep with you to get home from work? Yeah.
And you were quite surprised how well the cooking video went down and how people enjoyed it, because I think it's got quite a few ideas for
jungle knots. Yeah, go with that.
Food stuffs, etc.
So I was going to do condoms and their uses, but bug out bag, yeah. No, Mac.
Really?
I'm afraid you'll get naked. It's an airborne thing. That's what we could call it. I'm afraid you'll get naked. Yeah. Oh dear, I don't want to see that.
I want to see frostbite on your two butt cheeks.
20 miles from home, at work, on foot. Yeah, okay. So basically, what we'll do there is get Jason to run me and Mac out 20 miles, drop us off, and we'll make our own way back.
Yeah.
We're throw into that navigation and all sorts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and as Max said, we're going to be doing Afraid of Archery work. Naked and Afraid of a Oh, no.
It's not the parry you want to be afraid of, it's the Royal Engineer. I've got some gun oil in my bag.
You get naked, you two get naked, I'm just going to be afraid.
I'm a Royal Engineer, I've got C4 and grease. Fucking shelters, yep.
200 miles naked.
Don't, Mac. I keep getting this thought in my head. Now, you know where I'm on about. Right? From here to Morganporth on foot. What? Naked in a blizzard. For every 10 miles, get an item of clothing.
Or naked and making items of clothing out of 10 pairs of socks and a hoodie.
Today, I'll mostly be wearing stinging nettles. That's why my eyes are watering. Oh.
There's a lot of nudity going on here this evening. I was expecting Sticks to say he was in the bath, like last week.
That's given us some ideas, isn't it?
It has, yeah.
Righty-ho.
I can read this: a hot tent, cooking recipes, naked, jungle knots, naked, bag out bags, naked, 20 miles home home to work on foot, naked.
Naked and afraid
of down shelters, naked.
I've already done that one, Mac. That's on the CCTV at all the shop.
Archery skills, yeah.
Archery skills, yeah. I mean, there's... Right, so archery skills, improvised archery. So, I'm not much of an archer, but could you improvise a bow? Could you make it effective?
Yeah, it did turn suddenly, didn't it?
Yeah, we got past the watershed now, so and this is what I've...
Plus 10 o'clock it gets... Yeah, it goes downhill fast.
Yeah, so what I've done on my live chat and my members chat, just excuse me belching, that's very rude of me. I've demonetised the videos.
So it kicked in, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I demonetised the videos, and the reason being for that more than anything, it means that by demonetising them, if I say, do, or have something, or discuss something that maybe on the edge of the rules and regulations, I'm not going to get flagged for it or hit for it, because they are quite strict, for obvious reasons. Snares and traps, yeah.
Yes, that's quite funny, because you've got an idea for a snare and trap one.
I might do a pre-Christmas trapping video.
Yeah.
I might do. There's not so much I'm going to get this time of year, but because of that, it's the ideal time to set up something with minimum risk to the wildlife, i.e., another one I've got to do. I don't know if you're interested in seeing it, but I do have to thin out some grey squirrels. So again, might be some food preparation using grey squirrels.
The last one we had was in the George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
Like that.
Snare traps for vegans. Remember, whenever you're offered a vegan pie, ask the instant question: are the vegans used in it free range, or were they farmed? They never think it's funny. Especially when they say something to you, like you walk in, you go, "Oh, I like pasty, please." "Oh, we only do vegan pasties in here." "Okay, are the vegans free range or are they farmed?"
Yeah,
you're very right. Yeah. You're very right there, Gary.
Field hygiene, very good one there, John.
Yeah, keep it scrubbed, keep it clean, but also bear in mind that the natural oils of the body will also protect you and help you to blend into the environment. So it's a fine line, this one, isn't it? It's one I've been,
because your body builds up natural oils in your hair. Like, if you get beyond the greasy bit, then yeah. It's all right, Dog Dad.
That's all right, Dog Dad. We're basically getting into the impolitical side at the moment. We've discussed getting naked.
A lot of doing Naked and Afraid.
I'm asking, what would people like to see in videos? And for about 5 minutes, it was naked. Now we're into how many vegans go into a vegan pie, and are they free range or farmed? Are they red tractor assured?
How do you want your squirrel cooked?
Yes, well, slow. Squirrel's tough.
Stewed.
Yeah, so the best way of doing squirrel is stew. You can't.
I say we did do one of George Foreman.
Yeah,
grill.
It's tough.
But it was a bit tough.
Anything with muscles that's working a lot is always going to be tough. Yeah, grown-ups ones.
Yeah, all the sensible ones left early.
A mix back on the cider, so that doesn't help.
Yeah,
West Countryman cider.
Yes.
The few brain cells I have left are sparking.
Considering we're going for 2 hours and nearly 2.5 hours now,
Yes. Anyhow, Dog Dad, I haven't had a chance to watch your latest video yet. I will be watching it this evening. I was thinking about navigation today. Somebody asked me a question about navigation.
We've got Mick's got someone. He's called Fungus Man.
Yeah, Hugh Fungus. Yeah,
Hugh Fungus.
Gary, I know what I can eat, and I'm happy to do that myself. Top tip to you there, and it's something to be aware of. There was an incident a few years back. I know the guys that were involved, unfortunately, and it wasn't their fault. They put out a very, very good. It wasn't a video actually; it was a training day. But they basically did some wild fungus or wild mushroom identification with a group, and one of the families misidentified a couple of weeks later a mushroom that they thought they'd learnt on the course took it home, ate it, killing 2 family members and leaving a daughter an orphan and very, very ill. Okay. The UK rules on botany and identification of edible plants aren't that strict at the moment. However, if you're deemed to have fed false information or information that could lead to somebody misidentifying, you are culpable. So what I tend to do with any plants that I identify on the channel, it tends to be the obvious ones and the ones that I know 100%
Well, like
people are not
polypores, you
going to
can
get wrong.
use them to make
Yeah.
tea and things
Yeah,
like that.
exactly that, Lee. Because it would break me completely to think that I may have, even if I'd given the right information, somebody had read it wrong and it costs them their life. And when it comes to fungi, that is very, very easy to do. There are so many deceivers out there. So I tend not to do it on my channel, but we do have contact with a couple of experts or a couple of people that really know their stuff. And when I get a chance to finally get down and meet up with them, it will be a case of sitting down with them and saying, right, could you give me like 3 or 4 that you couldn't go wrong on, and identify them and show me and tell me live on the channel? Because again, I'm no expert. I can walk along and go, yeah, that's edible, that's edible. Quite often, I won't even know the name of it, to be honest with you, because it's something I've been identifying and eating since I was a small boy. So it doesn't put me in a position where I can pass on that information. There are other plants, red clover, white clover, bramble, nettle, you name it, fruits, berries, haws, that sort of thing. Yeah, not a problem at all, because it's something that is so specific. If I show it to you and identify it, you're never going to mistake it. In fact, you probably couldn't mistake it. So, yeah, I mean, there are more edible fungi than there are poisonous fungi. But again, the ones that are toxic they're not just, oh, it'll make you bad. They'll kill you. It's as simple as that. I mean, if I say there's two out there to learn that are really, really worth learning beyond the chanterelles and all the rest of it. The 2 that you, as bushcrafters and survivalists, you really want to learn and keep your eyes open for. It's one, chicken of the woods, okay, which is quite easy to identify. You won't miss it. And the giant puffball, okay, and they're both fairly common. And the weird thing is, people don't spot them because they don't expect to see them. Once you've learnt them, you'll be surprised how often you can bimble along and go, blimey, that's chicken of the woods. And that is absolutely to die for. Okay. So.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Right. So we're going to be calling it quits shortly, I think. Yeah. Get puppy downstairs. Finish my last cigar of the week. And yeah, I've still not had a cigarette. Woohoo.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we all had fun and games. Okay, so you've got to picture this in your mind. Okay. I was running a range in Wiltshire. Okay, and it's an isolated range. It's a range out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by farmland, high up on the Wiltshire Downs. And it's a 600-metre electronic target range. Beauty it is. Actually really nice. And it's about...
True, John. Very true.
About 15 minutes outside, 20 minutes outside Winchester. 20 minutes from Basingstoke. So if you know the areas, you'll know what I'm on about. And I turn up. I used to go to work quite early in the morning. So I'm there at 5:30 in the morning. I've gone out, put the flags up, set the range up, organising everything, waiting for the unit to come in. And it's a black morning. And this fog was in, and it was a beauty of a fog because it was one of those 20 feet visibility, and I'm thinking to myself, don't know that we're going to be firing today, but still got to set the range up, see if the fog lifts. And I'm bimbling around doing my chores, my bits and pieces, getting organised, setting out ammo point and that. And I suddenly hear these two voices. I think, well, didn't hear the unit turn up with the vehicle. And I just keep hearing them, and in there I'm like, somebody wandering around on the range. So I turn around and I just follow the voices. And eventually I come across these two lovely fellas, young lads, probably early 20s, down on their hands and knees. And they're picking these little mushrooms. I said, "Oh, boys, what are you up to?"
Good night, Dilly.
So, picking magic mushrooms. It's all right. Let's have a look. So I look. I said, "Well, that's got to get you high." Really? I said, "Yeah." "Oh, brilliant. We thought they were magic mushrooms." I said, "Well, if you're looking for psychobilin, that's not them." "Oh, well, these aren't magic mushrooms." I said, "No, they aren't magic mushrooms. How are you going to cook them?" "Well, we're going to make a tea out of it and drink it." I said, "Well, I'll tell you now, lads. You make a tea out of those and you drink those, you're going on a trip you're never coming back from because you'll die." And they'd literally filled this little container with these highly poisonous mushrooms or toadstools. And yeah, that was just pure luck. They'd probably they were probably from the university at Winchester. They'd have gone back, brewed up a tea, probably killed them. But it happens. It happens. Some things are best not trifled with. Okay.
I've never had a mushroom.
No.
Have a good week, Lee.
Lee, have a great week, mate. Stay safe, brother. Look after yourself. Have fun and great news. And I will be looking forward to seeing your first video, mate. I really will. I really will. You've got all our support here. Everybody here on the channel, every single one of them, will definitely come and have a look and show your support. And the same thing to any of you others out there that join us. If you want to make a video, or you want to do something, even if you decide, well, I'm just going to make a one-off video for the hell of it and see how it goes, do it, but let us know you're doing it because we'll all support you. Self-deletion, yes, the Darwinian project, we call that.
Right, BJ, what we'll do with your parcel, I'll sort it out probably tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow or Tuesday. And when I've got the details of when it should be arriving to you, I'll send an email to you and let you know when to sort of expect it.
Yeah. And we'll get that out from here. And yeah, feed us back. Let us know how you get on with it. If there's a chance to send us a picture, be absolutely over the moon to see it, mate.
Obviously, Gary's on your.
There's no pressure to do that, obviously, but it's one of those things. Is you pass on something like that, and it's nice to see somebody enjoy it and get pleasure out of it. And it's nice to see the feedback. Fun thing was, okay, so we did it as a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I announced the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and immediately after that we lost 5.
Yeah, 5 people.
5 people.
We gained the fight, and then 5 people.
I thought I was going to lose a lot more.
Okay,
because I know there are a lot of people that trawl through YouTube looking for giveaways and all the rest of it and sign up for it. So for those of you that watched it and stuck with it, thank you very much. For those 5, obviously weren't into it, were you? It's not a problem.
No.
Yeah, have fun and take care of yourselves.
People
there's a garden gate. Keep walking.
Things.
Yeah. So
I've made added a few little comments to people's things, and then they've answered me, and then they disappeared.
Yeah, yeah, happens. Will do, Lee.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, they don't know what they're missing, mate, and I'm not worried about it.
Because you're quite chuffed. We're 1.03 now.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Wow.
It's stealth car. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Sometimes it doesn't move at all. Mate, at the end of the day, keep plodding on it. The one thing I've learned about it is it's a process, and the thing is, if you stay true to yourself, you draw people that are genuinely interested. They like your presentation. They get to know you. They get to like you. Is why I set up the live stream or the live chat was give people a chance to ask me questions, give people a chance to speak to me. On an average live chat, we get 20 to 30 people.
Yeah.
An average live chat total views probably by the end of the week is 160 to 200. Do you know what? I'm happy with that. It's
Gary says you scared him off by talking about getting naked.
Sorry, Gary. I won't be getting naked, mate.
No, he said that's why people you left the channel because.
No, don't be scared of. Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, you know, as I say, birds of a feather flock together. It's very true. And
yeah, it's dog down. He'll agree with me. Stay true to yourself. Do what you do. Don't get tricked into doing what you think what people want to do if that's different from you and your own personality and what you want to do. I have had people suggest to me, you ought to do this and you ought to do that. I've been told I need to get more political. I need to maybe get a bit more like Funky Prepper. That's not my style. That's not my thing. Okay, stick to what I do. And if it stays at 1,000 subscribers for 20 years, do you know what? I'll take that. I'm happy with it. Right? Obviously, I'd love it to grow. Of course, you would. Right? But I'm not doing it for the subscriber down. I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. It gives me something to get up and do. It gives me a chance to meet people, make friends. Okay, even if it's only on the screen. Okay.
Yeah, you have your loyal ones that you see all the time.
And it gives me something to share with my granddaughter, and it gives me something to share with other people. It's passing on knowledge. And again, I gain knowledge from them as well. People are always putting stuff up.
Yeah,
people
Lee,
always
you put a
sending
lot of things up, and he said,
yeah. Yep.
It's like it's only giving you something apart from just looking after me.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's also it's the way you're supporting one another. You know, if you're having a real crap week, and you meet up on a Sunday, you just let your hair down if you've got any.
Well, that's why I set this up. So on here we've got other YouTubers. We've got Dog Dad, okay. We've got Stealth. We've got Derek, okay. We're around the world.
We've got Virginian
Bushcrafter. We've got lots of people on here that are also YouTubers. Now, I know YouTubers out there that wouldn't have that. No, because it's a threat. No, I see it as a way of I see it as a way of sharing knowledge and gaining. And I know those people have the same loves I do.
Yeah.
Because I watch their videos and I go, yeah, he gets it. He gets it. You know, he's enjoying exactly the same pleasures out of it that I get, which is brilliant. You know, it's a way of sharing. It's if you turn around, you walk into work tomorrow, you walk in, sit down at the desk, look at the guys around you and go, yeah, guys, I'm a bushcrafter. I guarantee most of them are going to go, what? Fucking weirdo. Right? Because they don't know. But we do. And therefore we enjoy it. We get the love of it. Yeah, a community's been forged.
It has.
Yeah. And just by talking and sharing and that, hopefully we support one another.
I don't know, Matt. What is that car park popular for?
Fishermen. That's where they park to go fishing. Exactly, that Stealth. It's go and do it because you enjoy doing it, and you will find a following. You will find other people that either watch it and go, "Oh, I'll give that a try. That looks like fun," or people that already do it that get it and will share with you.
Definite wolf.
You know, so.
Labrador,
you're saying people
Corgi, Spaniel.
People walk their dogs around there. Oh, right. It's a nice lake, that. What I can't figure out, mate, is Mac. What I don't understand about that car park is
Even he gets it.
Is the amount of people that have accidents there and leave their underwear on the bushes. There must be a really bad takeaway around there because, you know, the amount of underwear hanging off the bushes is ridiculous.
See, John gets it. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
But no, we'll get.
Got to do it for the fun of doing it.
Yeah. So, yes, there will be. Mac and Mick will go out this week, and there will be hopefully some more trial things.
Yeah. Well, that gives us some ideas of what people want to see and where to push on. Okay. So that's brilliant. That's a good bit of feedback.
Yeah, I've got a nice sort of writing there. And there is, for those who probably know it anyway, we've got the new email now because the old one wasn't working.
That's the point.
So it's Hampshire Outdoors at mail.com.
There you go.
So if you want any questions, if you want to email that, I check that twice a day. So don't be surprised if you don't get a reply straight away. But I do check the emails twice a day, so you will get an answer to them.
Yeah, so HampshireOutdoorsAtmail.com. And again, Kaz will answer the emails. So if you want to ask Kaz a question, not a problem at all. No, she won't wear the mask. I have asked her because it's another way of getting views on YouTube. I said, you know.
Yeah, Mama Who's just staying in there.
Yeah, I said, I've got a nice little T-shirt here. I've altered it slightly and, you know.
Yeah, the old one, what was happening, John, is he was sending emails out and they weren't getting to people, and people's emails weren't actually arriving.
The old email is still there, John.
Yeah.
I still use that, and that's connected to my PC here. So if you've got that and you want to use it, by all means do.
But if you use that new one,
if the new one we've dedicated to the channel, and that's Kaz is a bit more, so shall we say, reliable than I am at answering emails.
He was sending emails out, but they just weren't getting to people.
Yeah, they weren't getting out. I don't know what it is. It's the email fairies do not like me.
No, we've got gremlins in the mix there somewhere.
So yeah, if you want to keep the old email, by all means do. I've still got that active and I still use it. But I've sort of relegated that to sort of like personal emails and that. The other one I've set up for the channel. So basically anything that comes in like when we know it's channel related and we can prioritise it rather than going, oh, okay, doke.
Mac, do you need counselling after going out with him in his balaclava? We can arrange that for
Gary,
you.
we have thought about patches, and it's a case of finding somebody who can make the patches for us in
Mac has sorted out.
Yeah, Mac's sorting that one out.
Yeah.
So it's a case of getting a limited run over because again, I'm basically getting by on my pension, so it's finding how we can do it at the right level.
It'd be on along the lines of that, the badge.
Thank you, BJ. Much appreciated, my friend. Yeah, so hits me there, mate. It's keeping it real. Never thought never thought it would do that well, and wasn't panicking about it, to be honest with you. Just wanted to share what I know, and I think that's what's working. I think hopefully it comes across as honest. It comes across as truthful. I'm not here to sell brands. I would love to do more reviews. I would love to be in a position to have companies saying to me, go on, try this, try this, try this. Not, and I'll be honest with you, it's selfish. They're giving me kit. And there's kit out there I could never afford. And I'm not being funny. I mean, I follow Kent Survival. He's one of the best kit reviewers out there. Okay. And some of the kit he gets to review is thousands of pounds worth. And I sit there, someone's like, look at that stove. Oh, I can see myself in the woods with that. knowing full well I'm never going to be able to afford it.
And another thing is,
but again, nor can other people.
Yeah,
so if
exactly.
I'm reviewing stuff that I can afford, I know it's at a budget that most ordinary guys
A
are
lot of
going to
people
look
in
at
the
and go,
same
"Yeah, I can afford that."
same situation, can't afford, got young kids
Yeah.
or whatever, and some of these things are, you'd love to go out and spend £1,000 on a hot tent, but really, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You need money for cars and
Yeah, it's well, I'll be honest with you, running the channel, that is one of the things that's always at the back of our mind. Every sort of Monday morning, sitting there going, right, how much fuel can I stick in the motor this week? What can I do? What can I do? What have I got?
We had the car off the road for a little while as well, which meant
what can we order off of Temu? What can we get? What can we feel? And we look at all the companies local, and we see what deals they're doing, and we see, is there a new bit of kit that we could show you guys that we could afford to get in to
on eBay, Temu, Amazon, the Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, just.
Yeah, John, I think it's just luck of the draw. I think what it is, I don't know where. I was worried at one point. I thought I might have got hacked, but it turns out I haven't. That's somebody I haven't seen for a while. I don't know what's happened to him. It's him, Sam, Yorkshire Outdoors and Survival. It hasn't been up for ages. Well, it hasn't joined us for ages. If you're out there, Sam, take it easy. Be safe, my friend.
Yeah, we'd like to know if people are interested in maybe caps, hats, woolly hats, or stickers, like a sticker for the car, or
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Start simple, patches and stickers, things like that. A sticker for the car, bumper stickers. Yeah, honk if you're horny. Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, honk if you're horny. What do you reckon? That's a good sticker. I would say, do you remember all those stickers back in the 70s and 80s, the bumper stickers? Oh, God, I used to wet myself laughing at some of them. That was, where did they all go?
Hampshire Outdoors and Survivals does it with squirrels.
They need some lube for that, would you?
Honk if you're naked. Oh, dear. That was good. Yeah, good. You do get some good. I mean, we got some really good bits for.
Yeah, that's it. It's you've got to shop around, see what you can find.
What we have got, we got this week is a friend of ours made you a bespoke stove.
Made me a stove for the garden.
For the garden, and you're going to be doing a review.
Yeah, I'll do a little review of that. Yeah.
He used a gas bottle.
Yeah, maybe a little gas bottle burner for my garden.
Really absolutely neat with a chimney as well.
Although I can't give his name.
No.
Because he did it at work. Basically, I'll be honest there. He did it at work. So, yeah, I'm not going to get him in trouble if he gets back to his company.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as he said, he supplied all the kit himself and it was just time. And it is a beauty. Absolutely over the moon with it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting that burnt in and up and running.
Because it's that time when it's not really the time of year to be doing a live. We could do it next year, maybe doing a live outside.
Well, that would be a nice thing. What I'd love to do, I would love to be able to do a live outside and actually get some of the local. I know it's difficult for some of the guys in America, but it would be lovely to be able to get Sticks, Benny, Dog Dad, Matt, a load of us out somewhere, do a live stream or a live chat with a load of us there. So people
we could sort of find out sort of like a centralised place. Obviously, it's not fair to our
I'm afraid I'd have to
abroad.
Beg for one of you more technologically aware guys to be able to sort the admin out on that. But yeah, that would be a great one.
We're hoping that the plans are for next year to go to a couple of places around the UK and hopefully meet up with some of our subscribers and friends and just have a sort of couple of days of
next year.
Silly.
Just out of interest to you guys, next year there are going to be a couple of videos that are going to be fireside chats. And I can't say too much, but 2 or 3 of these guys have, shall we say, some very, very interesting careers, stories behind them. Okay. I'm very, very honoured that they are at the moment talking about coming down and doing a chat. I know these guys personally, or me and Mac know the guys personally.
Not a naked meeting.
And
You're obsessed tonight.
It'd be lovely to hear some of their stories and their tales. And something I want to push on with as well is Tales from the Basher. A couple of friends there that are sort of, at the moment, interested in coming in and having a chat and all the rest of it. And Tales from the Basher is a side of the channel where basically it's mostly military orientated, to be honest with you, and it is more that is based around the black humour. That is based around the
you
funny
might have somebody
things.
who's got a funny story that.
Oh yeah,
or
they don't have to be military. I don't care where they come from, but it's that's more based around the funny and the interesting stuff. I didn't want to make it so much of a memorial thing. Excuse me, that just made me burp.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people already doing some really, really good channels that way. The name Live Forevermore is a brilliant channel which I watch quite regularly. So I don't want to do that because I don't feel I can do it well enough. But getting some old ex-squaddy mates sat around the fire talking the breeze or and having a laugh and remembering some of the funny things, some of the silly things. If they want to have their clothes on, and just seeing some of the humour side of it. Because again, I don't think in society today there is enough of that allowed out anymore. You
have to be so politically correct about everything you say.
And so if I put videos up on that, they will probably come aired with a warning that this will not be politically correct, and it's definitely not for minors. Okay, the views and opinions shared within this are purely personal and therefore do not represent anything or anybody.
I know, Mac, but in my head I keep hearing that they call in the streak. They call in the streak. Look at that! Look at that! Don't look, Marjorie. It's too late. She got them.
Yeah. So. Ship rule showers. Yeah, hot bunk is all right, but it's one to the bunk.
Don't share your sock.
Don't share your sock. Yeah.
Anyways,
don't ever touch another man's sock. That's for those of you that don't know what we're talking about. It's a
I wish I didn't. Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Smell of burning paper and body hair. Yeah.
All right, no dancers of the flaming arseholes.
Unless by a quick request you get 1,000 likes and then you can.
Dancing the Zulu warrior, right?
Yes.
No, that's a bit out there because there's going to be somebody watching this going, Dance of the Flaming Arseholes. Okie doke. It's a very drunk party game for servicemen. It probably gets performed in various military units throughout the world, but it basically takes a sheet of newspaper, or 2 sheets of newspaper, 2 extremely inebriated soldiers, who will then take the newspaper sheets, roll them up, clench them between their butt cheeks, and dance on a table. At which point, team members will ignite said newspaper at the end. The one that stops dancing, leaps from the table, or otherwise puts it out first is the loser. The one that dances the longest is the winner. Hence, the dance of the flaming arseholes.
Not that.
Not to be encouraged in any way or any form. I
No.
must put a disclaimer on now. This channel does not endorse the dancing of the flaming arseholes in any way, form, or manner.
Oh no! Oh no!
No. Ain't gonna happen. I concede that dance to Mac, because if there's one thing
it's his idea.
If there's one thing I do know, okay, me and Mac, yeah, the pain threshold will be extreme, but he would probably win. Yeah, he's got the edge on me there.
No, it's 3 hours.
He's the sort of guy, when it comes to winning, 4 days in hospital, having blister treatment on his backside, he's quite happy to accept. Oh, I don't know if they do. I'll ask Tommy. From what I gather, I don't think they do. They don't play freckle.
It's probably not politically.
It's not politically correct, is it?
No, it's not. It's this woke larky. Cindy, it gets very weird.
John, is that the
Very
lovely
weird.
Cindy? That
Yes.
beautiful woman you've been telling us about for the last sort of 6 months? Cindy. From us in the UK and all the guys here. Thank you for sharing John with us. We do appreciate it. And you are beautiful.
And Cindy, I do try and keep it to a thing, but they pick on me and I end up getting, I do try.
That or I bribe you.
Yeah. Yes, this is the Sunday pub.
Yes, Sunday social in a pub.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of conversation you're going to get in the average English pub.
Or
People of a certain age.
Or the chat by the basher.
Or the fireside basher, yeah. Is that a good look, John? Or I'm in the poo look?
Can't be as bad as Gary getting caught out finding his first Christmas present.
Yeah, Gary got caught out finding his first Christmas present. That's a
well, it was her fault. She's wife of Tom put something away in the cupboard, and that's where she'd hidden it.
To be determined on the look.
Yeah.
Cindy, I'll be honest with you. We've roped him in, and he came here an innocent lad, and we do apologise now for any corruption we may have caused. And
the fact that we sent over brown sauce and Octo cubes.
Yeah. That's the step. Next thing, you'll be talking like that.
Yeah.
Hello, darling. You go, Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Different generations, we just,
Matt, not a problem, mate. Not a problem.
Night, Matt.
Matt, take it easy. In actual fact, guys, that's 3 hours and 2 minutes. I think I'm going to wind it up there. I'm going to give John back to the lovely Cindy. And Cindy, honestly, from here, from the UK, sending our love to you, John, and the family.
Nudity, there's somebody on Willow's on the floor, nuts to the world at the moment.
He's kicking, is he?
Yeah, he's on his back like that.
Dog Dad, take it easy, mate. Stealth car camper, lovely having you here tonight. Take it easy.
Good night,
Dirty
all.
faces. Take care. All the best. Gary Lund, love you, mate. Much appreciated.
See you next week, but
Thanks
an hour later,
us.
obviously we'll put up the
thing. John, appreciated, mate. Lovely to see you. And again, give Cindy a hug from us. It's actually wonderful having you here. BJ Harris, big hugs, brother. Have fun with the kit when it arrives. See you next Sunday with any luck. Derek, you're out there somewhere. Take it easy, my brother. Yeah. Sending all our love and respect to you all. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy.
Oh, thank you, Cindy.
Much appreciated.
Merry Christmas to you too.
All right, guys.
Like dirty faces.
We'll wind it up there. Guys, as always, have an absolutely awesome week. Yeah. Take care. stay safe, have your fun, have your adventures. As always, love those you do, forgive those you don't, and may peace and light be upon you all. Thank you for all the support, love, and care. It is appreciated. Have an awesome time. From me, Kaz, Mac, Jason, and Tommy when he's about.
Oh, and the Willow.
And the Willow.
Yeah.
Night, night, guys. Take care. Stay safe.
Night.
Mickey Kaz out.